Hello, hello, hello. This is Doc, aka Dr. Lariat, aka The Gunatic Fringe, aka Kenny Goo Mega, aka Toru Yay No, aka Genki Horoguchi Main, aka The Man with the Flan, aka your host. And joining me today, you might know him from YouTube. He runs the Grapplevision account. Joining me today, Gary Von Erich. What's up, man?
Hey, that was very clean sounding. I admire the Apollo Creed like entrance. That was something.
Hey,
I'm a fan.
I'm a bit of a self-promoter, so this is it's been a work in progress, man. And talking about works in progress, you run possibly for over a decade one of my favorite informative pro wrestling YouTube accounts where you go over things like backstage fights, in-ring fights, and all that stuff. And I gotta tell you, man, one of my favorite videos that you did recently was Rick Steiner getting bitched out. I love the Steiner brothers. I love Rick Steiner in particular, but I also hate the all those stories of him that came out even like recently as like when he called said those words to Shaw, who I am a fan of. Shout out to my fellow Filipino. Uh, So man, like, how do you even come up with this kind of concept for a channel, man?
Oh man. Yeah, originally the channel was me and a bud, but he kind of fell out of it.
Mm,
And I don't know, originally it was just YouTube was different then. So it was, just posting stuff.
yeah,
Eventually I think the idea for wrestling gets real. It it was just kind of the way YouTube at the time made things. The videos were limited to like 10 minutes, stuff like that. Uh, I think the time limit had just been lifted because some of them got to be like 15 or 20, something like that.
yeah,
But for the most part, it was just try to put in three instances of wrestling getting real, and it was uh, somewhat the same thing as a botchamania or something like that. But for the most part, it's that but violent, I guess. So it's got I don't know. Botchamania is on like episode 400 or 500 at this point.
yeah.
They're only 50. Wrestling gets real, so much different pace or whatever, but it's similar.
Hey,
Um,
I say quality over quantity, personally.
well, you
Um,
get a lot more botches than you do people getting into fights or
yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
which I'm glad of. I don't want Honestly, I would be glad if we never get to episode 100, but I know that we definitely will because people are always going to get into fights.
Oh yeah. Even recently, Um, and like we were talking a little bit off the air. Do you want to tell people about your history with pro wrestling?
Sure. I've been involved with pro wrestling for about a little over 20 years now. Uh, Wrestled with a lot of people who both mattered and did not matter at all, grand scheme of things. And I've just seen a lot. A lot of the wrestling gets real of like the really obscure stuff. Some of it's just from being in the business and you kind of hear the story. You go and find it on a very random Facebook page or something that some guy posted, and that's where it is.
That's freaking killer, man. Just logging on and saying, "Oh, this and this happened," and just have like those rumors like confirmed. It
Hmm.
heartens me to see that people are still barbarians and still being dicks to each other. I mean,
Well, the other side of it's the Vordell Walker thing. People
Oh
waited
yeah.
for a very long time for that video to come out. You can go through and hear shoot interviews, guys like Raven in particular. I always bring up Raven because he did not like that Rick Steiner was getting talked about like he got beat up. And so he played it down for like the entire 20 years until the video came out. You'll find a lot of the old timers were really playing this video down.
You know,
And oh, go ahead, go ahead.
oh, well, like it's always funny for me to like if there's video evidence that some such thing exists, like a ass beating, and these guys are always just trying to downplay it. And like we still see it. We saw it this year with, I mean last year with fucking Jungle Boy, right? And like
Mm.
we all saw the video. It's like a nothing thing, right? Punk got him like in a guillotine. It wasn't even a tight
That
guillotine
wasn't
too.
even a guillotine. I think that was like a. I mean, maybe it was. I'd have to have a better
Well,
look, but I do
well,
see that Jungle Boy was about to get out of it.
yeah.
This was a very nothing fight
It
that
was
was
such a
turned into the biggest thing ever.
Yeah, and I remember like what was it like? So Punk just pie faces him. For some reason, Jungle Boy goes for a single with a high crotch. And both of them were saved from being embarrassed by Samoa Joe. Honestly,
I
that's
don't.
how I
I
feel.
think Jungle Boy was gonna try to like waist lock him and push
Yeah.
him. I don't. I can't tell what the hell Jungle Boy was trying to do.
Well, like
And I'll
what?
give Jungle Boy credit. He didn't know he was about to be attacked,
Yeah.
so he's figuring it out.
My friends, we all make this joke about like how because these boys are not behaving for right now. Um, Me and my friends just make this joke about like Jungle Boy and that fight, right? Because there was a headline of Jungle Boy refuses to come, right? So the joke was like,
Oh my goodness.
oh yeah, this is gonna hit. The joke was basically that Jungle Boy, um, Jungle Boy actually got his full release, and the reason why that he got suspended is like he showed Tony Khan his O face, and it made Tony so comfortable to see this little boy get his soul drained out of him. That's from me. That's just that's just me being a really big weirdo about that. That's not for me. That's shout out to you, Ed. And
Well,
that's
that is how you get all those nicknames.
yeah,
You can't be a Kenny Omega without that.
and like fights like that, seeing like the actual fight come out, and then one of the things that was hilarious is all these people jumping on Twitter to defend Jungle Boy. And like I think one of them said like, "LOL, that's not what happened. He turned the tables on Punk and
He turned the table.
turned the tables in a wrong way.
Okay. Turn the tables in a wrong way.
You cheat me for the last time,
I
and
don't
I'm
like
going
it one
full
bit.
force." uh, yeah, man, and that's like that's what's funny to me about this. What I love about yours is like you pretty much lay it out. You do like a little narration. Sometimes the narration sounds like Jesse
For
the
the most
body.
part, I try to just get it from the people who had done it. The you're talking about like the narrations for stuff. Yeah. The
Yeah,
those are voice changed.
yeah,
But
and yeah, dude, it's like totally. It's totally just like you know, man, it's like for me, I get a real big enjoyment out of this stuff because I love seeing like wrestlers eat their own words, and then like when you present like actual evidence that like is antithesis to what is presented, it makes it funny to me because like just to see the actual fight, right? See him like seeing Wardell Walker stand up for himself and like the instant like he presents as a threat to Rick Steiner. Rick Steiner just like like the bully, what the bully always does when they get stood up to, they just like stand down and just like stare off and like that. It's so fucking it's so embarrassing, man.
well, In Rig's case, I mean, it was the old dog kind of situation. Like, he'd been able to kind of bully people around for as long as he had. It hadn't really been challenged in any significant way for a long time. So when it finally happens and it goes the way that it did, it's, I don't know. You usually don't get to see it captured on video in
Yeah,
that way, especially in wrestling. In wrestling, that's not usually caught on video in that way.
yeah. And you talk about being involved in pro wrestling for 20 years because you started it back in 2005. A
It
little
was a
bit.
little bit before
Yeah,
2005 or whatever, but I can't remember when. It'd be like late 2003, early 2004 or
yeah.
whatever.
Because like I thought like you got out of wrestling in 2005, so I thought like you were like one of those brother
Oh
brothers.
God, I would be ancient. Yeah.
Oh, I hope to be one of those brother brothers one of these days because those guys tell pretty fun stories and they're always tall tales.
I think
So
those are long gone. In the podcast stage, you will hear all these guys tell the exact same stories they told in 2002 in the
yeah,
tape trading days, but they are so much more tame now. The
yeah,
stories seem to omit anything too crazy.
yeah. And then
It's
like
so strange.
you get stuff like Dark Side of the Ring. And like what I want to tell people that love Dark Side of the Ring, I say like I always say there's a couple things you should watch. There's there's your show, Grapplevision, and then there's also another show that I watch, Wrestlepective. And like when you guys like dig deep, like another thing that I loved of yours, to blow smoke up your ass, is I did really love your take on not your take because it's not your take, your coverage of FMW and the end of FMW because like dude, personally when for me I actually watched FMW in real time because the video store that I went to was was owned by Japanese people. So they had like
Hmm.
the import games. So for Nintendo 64 and all that, so I was able to watch like New Japan, All Japan Women's, and FMW. And also they had like they brought Virtual Pro Wrestling 64. That's what I played before World Tour. Well, actually, it came out
That's
after World Tour, so I actually rented that because I thought it was a sequel, and then like, oh no, this is a better game. So
those were
I,
a good time.
yeah, dude. And you know, we were talking about this like a little bit before about how you also watched Laserdisc of FMW. You want to tell that story?
Oh, sure. The main thing was at the time I wasn't as into anything really happening going on in the States anymore. I didn't hate it, but I wasn't as into it as I was when I was younger. I was a huge Kerry Von Erich fan, and then he passed away. Ricky Steamboat had kind of stopped wrestling. All of my guys who I was really into when I was younger, they're all done.
Yeah,
So I'm playing the video games, and Hannibal is on there, and not Hannibal TV. I had to clarify for somebody before. It's the name that they gave a random character that they based off of Hayabusa and WCW NWO World Tour.
yeah,
And originally I thought it was Sabu because everybody else is real. You got Taka Michinoku, Jinsei Shinzaki, who is Hakushi. You've got all these guys based off of real people there. So in my head, I'm like, well, I guess it's just like Sabu was wearing a mask.
yeah,
And that's how I rationalize it. Move forward a little bit, and passing by a music store, they have a display for FMW and Laserdisc. Walking with my grandparents, and I talked my grandfather into how much we definitely need to get that Laserdisc and a
definitely.
Laserdisc player. We needed it. It was a need for the household. I
Yeah,
think,
definitely, man.
yeah, I felt like a VCR salesman in the '80s. We had to have this. We don't want to get left behind. We go ahead and get one now. We can start getting the laser discs that everybody else will be getting soon. I think we got like 4 laser discs of FMW, and then found out I could get some videotapes, and it'll be okay.
Yeah. We used our Laserdisc for, well, I watched on Laserdisc too because I watched New Japan Laserdisc. That's how I watched Muda versus Hulk Hogan. It was on Laserdisc, and
Hmm.
it we had Laserdisc because my dad, we're Filipino, so my dad had the Laserdisc for karaoke, and so you have the karaoke, so you have like the sound system, right? So me and you, we're watching crystal clear FMW, high quality with high
Crystal
quality
clear, we
audio.
think at the time. I
We
wonder what
think
they look like now.
for our eyes, yeah. Because like back then our eyes, right? So I put on like a Goofy movie, right, on the
We
VHS.
would play like SmackDown 2 and be like, this looks so real.
Oh my God, look at the graphics! Holy crap! Um, but like, yeah, we're so like for us, it's like but the audio is crystal clear. It's like phenomenal, and like
Hmm.
it's just funny you do that, and then like people when I went online and like people asked me like, how were you watching these things? I was like, oh, I was just watching on the commercial tapes. And people don't know about commercial tapes because people are usually watching dubs tapes of like recordings of recordings of recordings, and it's usually like not even like
YouTube uploads.
yeah, it's like usually like not even like the full show. So like it would watch the full show, and they had like on like VHS too. So like I'd watch the ECW crossover shows. They would also air them on Hardcore TV, with like the with Joey Styles doing his commentary over it. But like man, when it comes to FMW, uh, there's certain people that want to be seen as like authorities on it, and like I feel like
It's a lot of people.
yeah, so many people just want to be authorities on it. Some of them like just want to like just keep banging on their door to like ask ask them for like reference to be a reference on your site. And like I like
There's a person in my comment section who, under every FMW video, is very quick to point out how, like, well, this wasn't even really FMW. This happened in WEW.
mm,
Well, this is this and this. There's a thing to the wrestling fandom, particularly around anything niche, like
yeah,
very protective, uh, especially if it's something that's kind of a bedrock or a part of their personality. Whereas, like, I'm the guy for this, I'm the guy for this, and oh, that's a horrible trap to fall into.
yeah,
You don't want to become the guy for anything. Again, these promotions are all made up of guys who go in there and do things. Like, they're the ones who were doing it. They're the ones who built it. In the case of FMW, there are guys who died for that promotion.
literally.
So I would never want to be the FMW guy. I don't think anybody else should want to be the FMW guy. But in particular, I think it's insane for people to go into like a comment section and be that mad about FMW.
Hey man,
It's like people don't like the consensus that I well the consensus is what they kind of like to go with. The way that Dark Side of the Ring ends their FMW story, the way that What Culture ends their FMW story,
yeah,
the financial mismanagement from her. Okay, we'll go into it a little bit, talk about it some. Go read his book. There's a translation for it out there.
the
There are
Hayabusa book is so good.
resources. There are resources beyond everybody just agreeing with each other. Is my
Yeah,
point. That's the best way to go about it, and I don't know. That's why I like to talk about the stories in FMW that I do. There's not a consensus on everything to do with FMW. Like,
uh,
I'm not mad at Onita. Like, a lot of people are very mad at Onita. I'm not mad at Onita because once Onita left, who were they going to push? Again, like, yeah, sure, he should have helped. He should have pushed some more guys. I get all of that. But whereas a lot of people are like, well, Onita needed to, step aside for Hayabusa, da da da.
he stepped
You know,
aside.
they, I, yeah, I get all of this.
Yeah,
But when you look at the state of FMW and you pretend like we have enough stars to tell one they need to leave, that's not wise.
that's and then he went off to like New Japan and made like a brick of money
Right.
doing the stuff he would
People
do in
wanted
FMW.
Onita. Now, FMW guys were mad because they felt like they were being held down by Onita, probably in the same way any wrestling promotion looks at the guy who was over 2 years ago and says,
Yeah.
well, he needs to move and let me be over now. It's not about that. You have to get over. Right? You can't become over because someone gets out of the way. They can get out of the way all day, but like, can you get the fans to cheer or react to you that much now?
Yeah, that's the thing, man. And like when I think about like the talent back then, like you had Hayabusa, you had Mr. Ganosuke, you had Megumi still, up to a point.
There were guys priming to be moved up. Like
Yeah.
everybody can love Ricky Fuji, but let's be real, mid card for life.
Hey,
Ricky Fuji, and I love Ricky Fuji. I love a Ricky Fuji match, but he was never going to be the guy in FMW. But
one of
somebody like a Kuroda,
Kuroda was
so they could have built a little bit more around Tanaka. There are moves that could have been made, little moves that could have built stars,
yeah.
but it was never meant for that. So I can't be as angry. It's not like Onita sat down one day and said, you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to start a promotion. Let me call
Frontier.
up everybody and just start a wrestling promotion. That was
Yeah.
never the plan.
Yeah, man. That's but like when we see like the downfalls of stuff like ECW, FMW, and all that stuff, it's like people kind of want to put blame on a single thing when it's a whole lot of things that led to the downfall of it, and like
Yeah.
it's it's kind of
Well, death by a
ridiculous.
thousand cuts. Some cuts
Yeah,
deeper than others.
yeah. So there's so much that goes into that, like because when you even look like at the end of like ECW, people say it's because they went into bankruptcy and because like, but I mean, sure,
I could
but
be really cruel about it. ECW didn't die until Paul Heyman went to the rollerball set.
oh yeah,
I think that's the most
rollerball.
honest assessment.
Oh yeah.
Is the moment he got onto the rollerball set with Shane McMahon, that was a wrap for ECW.
Oh yeah, because like he was able to get talked into it, and Shane wanted to buy ECW outright anyways. Shane like had these
Shane was that kind of guy. He was about that.
because he saw them doing like the was it what was the online shows called? Because they were doing those online shows like way back in 1996, 97, right? Live streaming them, and like Shane was into that. He wanted to get stuff like that. He wanted to get like into
Shane
like
was always into it. He wanted to buy UFC at one point.
UFC
Shane was
Pride.
always pitching something different. I'm not sure exactly about what he wanted ECW for. This sounds in line with something Shane would want, but
Yeah,
especially at the time,
yeah,
it sounds in line with something Shane would pull off.
yeah. Because like Shane McMahon is a he's a carny. Of course he was raised by a carnies, but like he also like is forward thinking for like stuff because like he was
I wa-
super.
I wonder if Carney is an accurate way. I don't know. Shane, I'm on the fence with.
I don't know if
He
he's a
has had the least to do with this family.
yeah, and that's what makes him cool.
So
I mean, cool enough as like a rich white Republican could be,
to a degree,
to a
I
degree.
wanna give him leeway compared to the rest of the McMahons, just because at least he has walked away from them multiple times.
Yeah. Um, there's a reason he's not showing back up. Um, and there's a reason he never like brings them up at all. So I like Shane McMahon when he had those because we talk FMW, so of course I like garbage wrestling, and Shane was a pretty good garbage wrestler for me personally, just
No,
being able to
everybody liked
lead
that
them up.
stuff.
Dude,
The Shane McMahon stuff for a long time, a lot of people held it up as some of the funnest wrestling. He apparently came back when he was older and had a lot more matches.
yeah.
Probably shouldn't have done that.
Uh, leave
The
the memories
Attitude Era
alone.
Shane McMahon, that was a perfect catalog to leave behind.
You know what also was crazy is like so he'd do like the Van Terminator, right? But he'd also do like he'd do a Stardust press, he'd do a shooting star
Mhm.
press, he'd do he'd do all this crazy like he I think he tried to do a 450 and fucked up, but like he would do all this shit because like he was big and
He
he was big into the juniors, and like this
Yeah,
dude tried to bring in Hayabusa.
he was in his 30s when he debuts, right? So
I,
like he
I
comes back in his 50s, completely
yeah,
silver haired, and he's still
yeah,
doing all that.
yeah, and it's crazy doing that elbow drop to the table, and he has some of the most devastating punches I've ever seen. Yeah.
All right, I want to ask you a question that I think is going to. This one might make you sweat.
All right.
Who is the best non-wrestler wrestler? Shane McMahon or Logan Paul?
Shit. Kevin Green.
See that's a good answer. That's a good answer.
Hey man, like
My favorite of all would be Mongo, who just
RIP.
passed away. I hate that he just yeah. I
Yeah,
hate that
man.
he
Both of
just
those
passed.
guys are dead, right? Mongo and Kevin Green are both dead.
Mm.
Oh shit. But yeah,
Which is crazy. I remember they both went into WCW at the same time.
yeah,
I
that
love
was
those kids.
they were like a tag team for like one match, and then they had that other match against the Horsemen, and then Mongo turned on him and joined the Horsemen.
Yes, sir.
Oh man, I like.
I love that. I love Mongo's acting. I don't know. I was an unironic Mongo fan. I enjoyed pretty much all of his work.
Hey, I like.
It was a good time.
He had that little Chihuahua, right? And
The Chihuahua was amazing.
I love. I'm a dog lover. I love cats also. So like, you show me like a little puppy and like little out cute outfits, like man, you got me, Mongo. You had me. And
Mm-hmm.
like Bobby the Stain Heenan, like that stuff is like
Oh, he
it's just
was
perfect.
hilarious.
He was
Him
always
and the
on
little
point.
dog in the outfits. He was an amazing character.
Yeah.
Once he began wrestling, I always and people do not like this, but I compare him to a safe version of Doctor Death.
Hey. What he I liked how he did the knee clip and the tombstone, and it was like done like in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And like that's fine. You could be a fun squash wrestler. I mean,
Well, most of Mongo's moves that looked weird or off, you'll notice it's because he's making sure to protect somebody.
yeah. Yeah.
Like Mongo never wanted to hurt people. He was always trying to. I don't know. There was something about Mongo that I appreciated. That I would notice that basically nobody else did. Everybody just kind of was like, "Oh, he's the worst." And, all right, I guess. And I even I man, this is cynical, but I half expected there to be a bunch of like Mongo appreciation videos after he passed, and he didn't even get that. That
Man.
feels weird too. There are in the football world.
Yeah.
In the football world, people are very appreciative of Mongo,
It feels like
but
Matthew should do like a whole "Here Comes Mongo," just like a complete Mongo, because
something. Even then, like I feel like there was never anybody who sat down and was like, something something. Here's Mongo. Something nice about Mongo. I made a nice video about Mongo like 2 years ago, and I always thought that somebody else is gonna make a nice Mongo video,
uh,
and that did not happen.
brother, you're
And I
ahead
don't
of the
think it's
curve.
happened still.
It's because you're ahead of the curve. Like because like 2 years ago, I think that's when Ric Flair had his podcast where he talked about drinking sea breezes, and he posted that picture of him standing next to Mongo on Mongo's bed, and he's smiling the whole time. Uh, that's funny to me. Not that that
I would have thought that like people would have started making nice videos then.
yeah. I
I
I
don't know. Maybe
I like Mongo.
I know that some of the podcasters like Bischoff and Jeff Jarrett did, but I don't know. I thought more like YouTubers or whatever. Somebody would make something nice about him.
I'm sure
It's fine, but
I'm
it bothers
sure
me.
I'm sure one YouTuber will make a clip where they call like a Mongo squash on Saturday night a deep cut
Oh man,
and
the
act
Tom
like,
Green guy.
oh man, nah. The
Well,
that's
all right. I won't. I don't hate the Tom Green guy.
Yeah.
I preface it with this, but sometimes I've only seen 4 of these, so don't judge me too harshly on this. Some of these that I have seen are not very much deep cuts, so much as that's what happened on WCW that week.
Yeah. It
Which
only
I don't know. Maybe that's because I'm old. I need to factor that in. I am getting old now,
well, yeah.
so
Because like when you present it as a deep cut, we're thinking about it from the WWE audience perspective, who are like 16 years old. So
If you
they'll
think of it from the WWE audience perspective or fans now, I mean, what is not a deep cut?
Yeah. Because so like you mentioned something from like 25, 30 years ago. Like, oh, I didn't know that. But like it's not
It's an
necessarily a
old
deep
cut.
cut. It's old. It's an old reference. Um not and like if you talk to somebody like me, because I love WCW back then. I was WCW over WWF, especially once Bret Hart became champion. I was like, I need someone else, so I found Sting and Cactus, and I was like, okay. And I saw Liger, and I saw Kensuke, and I was like, okay, this is what I want to watch. But anyway, like,
This game was a strange one to show up. What was it? Kurosawa.
oh yeah,
He was
Kurosawa,
over there.
man. When I think about Kurosawa, because like most of his stuff is on Saturday Night or Prime or what's the other one? Worldwide. He looked different from any other Japanese wrestler they had on TV back then because he was just a big buff dude, long hair and little tights, and back then Nakanishi was a hunk, you know. They didn't really have that many
Was
Japanese
that Minobu
punks.
Nakanishi or Sasaki?
No, that was Nakanishi. Sasaki was
That was
Sasaki.
Nakanishi. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, you're right. You're right.
yeah, yeah,
Sasaki was Sasaki, Nakanishi was Kurosawa.
yeah. I'm not.
Okay.
I don't understand
I
why
get
he's the
confused sometimes with the different names when
yo.
they come over to the States.
I don't understand why he changed his name to Kurosawa, but I'm thinking it's the long hair and the fact that he had like a beard because
Minobu Nakanishi might, I mean, they probably didn't feel like they could work with it.
no.
Kurosawa probably felt like they could. Whenever, you got to notice that when they come to the States, they try to find an easier name to pronounce.
Oh yeah.
It's one of those things, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. I can admit I'm wrong if
I,
that's something I'm off on, but that feels like what they were going
yeah.
for.
Every time I hear Justin Roberts say Kazuchika, Okada, like
Mhm.
it doesn't feel nice
It
because
feels like he's trying to fly through half the name. He don't want to fuck it
yeah.
up.
And then like when he introduces like uh he's like Konosuke Takeshita, like he says that like really fast and doesn't like hold on the names like
Gotta go fast.
because like when you watch in New Japan it's like Kazuchika Okada and like why can't you just copy that? It's not that hard to pronounce it like that. But
They,
maybe I'm thinking from like my Asian brain, not like Midwest American brain.
that's probably the
So
thing is he's going fast so that it doesn't sound like he fucked it up.
yeah.
I didn't think were we supposed to say F words on here?
Yeah, bro. Fucking I
Okay.
don't give a fuck.
I didn't notice. I don't know. I should have asked that before. I usually ask that beforehand.
Hey,
Okay.
we work blue here.
But
We work stiff here.
I'm I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm making sure. I didn't think about that. I said that and I was like, oh, I should have asked.
Hey,
All right.
we don't say the other F word though. We don't say that other.
Okay, that
To
that
quote
other
to quote a movie,
there's a few.
we don't do that here. Oh shit, I shouldn't have done that. But anyway, um,
All right, are there any wrestlers who you can't say their name, so you say their name really fast?
uh, hmm. There's wrestling writers who I can't say their names, and I say it really stupidly. Like I remember 4-1 Mania had this guy Eric Sakazawaski or whatever.
Oh man,
I remember that name. That name sticks out to me because I can never say it. Or like I can't. Who is that one? Like one of some of those like Slavic names I can't really say. Like Rob Van Dam's like real name, Rob Sakazawa was. I can't do that.
Zankowski.
Yeah, I can't say it.
I
The
only know it because I've heard him say it. If I hear somebody say it, I can memorize how it's said. If I read
yeah,
it, it's a nightmare.
yeah, dude, and like doing a RVD kind of like impression is, bro, it's pretty easy. But I used to go to his comic book store because I'm a mark, and he's a really nice guy. I like Rob Van Dam.
Extremely nice guy.
He was also the coolest wrestler um ever in the 90s for like a teenager. Like this dude smokes and he does like cool karate and he flips and
He
stuff.
was probably the most over guy. I don't know. There is a pocket of time where it's provable to a degree that RVD is probably one of the top, maybe 4 or 5 most over guys in wrestling. I don't know. Are
Before
you on
ECW,
a
before WWE or after
no,
WWE?
no, no, no. A very specific pocket of time.
Are we talking
So,
'98?
are you at a computer or anything like that?
Um, sure.
All right. Are you able to see Google Images or anything like that?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Type in WrestleMania 18 GameCube. Look at the cover athletes. Right at the beginning of the invasion, you got
Oh
to
shit.
remember he got a title shot. He headlined with, I think, Stone Cold and The Rock. I can't remember
Yes,
exactly
he
who.
did Stone Cold, The Rock, Kurt Angle,
There you
and to
go.
tell the audience, so on, to not, because I don't like blue balling people.
No, total
I like to
peace.
finish the story. Um, on this WrestleMania X8 cover, we got Hollywood Hogan, we got Stone Cold Steve Austin, and we have Rob Van Dam. The whole fucking show.
That's pretty wild company for him to be keeping.
Yeah.
The variant covers that would come out later, I think, replace Austin with The Rock because
Uh,
I think he like left the company right
uh,
as they put it out.
he took
Like
his
that game
balls
came out
and went
right
home.
as the lawsuits and everything happened. Like
Yeah.
that game got changed probably the most out of any from various releases. I think they replace Austin with The Rock. But even then, they don't replace RVD. He stays on the cover with Hogan.
That's fucking cool, man. That's fucking cool. And you know, I talk about cool things, one of the coolest videos you've done was Ernest P Worrel and wrestling. And let me
You
tell you,
told me you were happy to talk about this.
yeah. Hey Verne.
Okay.
Hey Verne, did you ever watch wrestling? I am a big Ernest head. I'm not sure what we call it, what the fandom calls themselves, but I call myself an Ernest fan. I love Jim Varney. I loved him in Beverly Hillbillies. I love him as the original Slinky Dog. People
He was
don't
a
know
good
that.
he was a good Jed Clampett.
Yeah.
He did good in that role.
I love that episode of The Simpsons where he plays a carny and tricks Homer into giving his house to him. There's something about Jim Varney, the
Have you ever
actor.
seen the Three Ninjas where Hulk Hogan and the Three Ninjas are going at Jim Varney and his group of villains?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. We call that Three Ninjas at High Mountain. That's
There
what we
you
say.
go. So
And
it's something to that degree. You
yeah,
may be a word or two off, but that's the one. You
that's
know the
when,
one, I know the one. We know what
yes,
we're talking about, I think.
Hollywood Hogan showed up on TV with a full head of hair during
I
his heel
wouldn't
run.
say full, let's be honest. It's not full, but
Okay,
it's 70. The glass is half full, for
yeah,
sure.
it was like it was a
A
toupee,
glass half full of hair.
a glass half full of hair. He had that glue on business because he worked a full match with that glued on his head.
Really? Oh, in the wrestling, he had like spiked hair
Yeah, it was
on
spiky.
TV, right?
Yeah, he worked it with the wig on,
Yeah.
brother.
All right. On the in the movie, he has. That's what I was
He
thought.
has
He had
swoopy
like
hair.
the some kind of swoop. Yeah, he has some kind of swoop going on there. Maybe he couldn't get it off, and so he just spiked it up
Yeah, I
for
think so.
the
Maybe like he's like,
show.
brother, I gotta make sure that this doesn't come off. Oh shit, it's stuck. Give me a haircut that looks
Hulk
cool.
Hogan with a spiky hair was the weirdest thing.
It was
I
as
don't know.
weird as
It's up
clean
there with
shaven
a.
Hogan.
Have you seen Phantom of the Opera Hogan?
Yeah.
Okay, it's like that. Like
Oh man.
Phantom of the Opera Hogan and spiky hair Hogan. Those are the two. Those are the shiny trading cards of Hulk
What
Hogan.
what was that Hulk Hogan movie that they were promoting on WCW? It wasn't Thunder in Paradise. It was like
I know that
something
was a
else.
show. Maybe they had some movies too. I'd have to
Uh,
try to remember.
what was it? What is it called? Assault on Devil's Island. Cause like
That's probably
he
like
had
a
like
made for TV movie.
yeah, he had like the full long hair. Um, and he didn't show up to TV with that. I was like, man, it's funny to see Hulk Hogan with hair. It was also funny in WCW when what was it when Kevin Sullivan and his father shaved Hulk Hogan's like half of the mustache. That
King
was
Curtis Ikea.
yeah, my
Yeah.
son. Oh man, Dungeon of Doom classic. That's
What's
not a deep
weird
cut.
is they should have made more reference to King Curtis while Prince Ikea was around because it was always very confusing in WCW to see Prince Ikea running around
You know that's not actually his son, right?
and well, for sure, but they could have if you're going to have Prince Ikea, do you not at least want to reference King Curtis Ikea so
I
that it.
maybe they had heat,
They might have. It was
island
something.
heat, you know.
In fairness, I'm really glad that he turned the gimmick into the artist formerly known as Prince Ikea.
Yeah,
That was
calf
good
cappy.
TV.
Hey man, he had that. I don't even know why he was the artist. I guess he kind of looked like Prince. That was
I
the
don't
thing.
think he looked at all like
I don't
him.
think like this Polynesian dude is gonna be pulling off a Prince gimmick,
I
but
think
he tried.
Russo was probably like, all right, this man is of questionable ethnicity. He's kind of short. He likes to wear purple tights. Hey, Purple Rain, we're
Yeah,
getting somewhere. Hold on. Like,
hey,
we were on a very weird little train of thought, probably connecting
possibly.
the dots to turn him into this. Well,
I
his
mean,
name is also Prince.
yeah. Well, I'll leave. Hey, you know, I never connected that dot. So
That is the biggest dot of all. It is a giant constellation, making us both look pretty goofy to connect any of these other dots whatsoever.
we went all around in that circle. Oh, his name's Prince. Oh shit. Uh, now this
His
whole
name's
like
Prince, and he needed a new gimmick. I
there
can't.
we go. We
Seems
just
easy now.
God, I just you just like closed the freaking 25-year loop on me. Good God. Uh, and yeah, man, man, that's not a deep cut for WCW either. No jump scare for you
That's
guys.
not a deep cut. That's a paper cut.
Yeah,
It's
and you
been
know
a
what?
WCW paper cut.
So like getting back up to like the Ernest P Worrel video, man. What inspired you to just like say fuck it and just do a video where you pay tribute to one of the greatest comedic actors of all time, in my opinion, Jim Varney, aka
I mean,
Ernest P Worrel, aka the best smoky
main
voice
bad
ever,
guy, main bad guy in the Three Ninjas movie.
aka the main bad guy in the big Three Ninjas movie, aka the Slinky Dog. You know, like this guy
Yeah, the
rules,
Slinky
man.
Dog. A lot of young people probably don't know that they know Jim Varney,
Yeah,
and that's why like he was the Slinky Dog in Toy Story. He's I don't know. I was a huge Jim Varney mark.
yeah.
Uh, Growing up, like Ernest Goes to Jail is awesome. The
Oh yeah,
There's something about that movie, and like the lighting is awesome in that movie. Everything about that movie is way cooler than it probably should be.
yeah.
The bad guy in that movie, Nash, like Ernest playing a bad guy who's all evil and has like an eye twitch. It's pretty great. I don't know.
There's something
There's
about the way
something
he
about the
talks too,
character.
man. The
Hmm?
I love I love that he gets fully into the characters, like and like even what was that when Ernest scared what's that when
Oh,
he
Ernest
dressed
Scared Stupid.
Ernest scared stupid, like when he dresses as like his mom and like he just goes
Okay, okay.
fully into the
Auntie
whole
Nelda. No, you're
yeah
talking about the Auntie Nelda character. He did that
yeah
on the TV shows. He did that in basically every movie. I think he did some little skit with Auntie Nelda.
uh,
That character is hilarious.
I also have Auntie Nelda, so it pops me.
Oh, that's gold. That's gold.
Love you Auntie Nelda. Your peanut butt is the best. Love you. Um and like it's like yeah man, he's like so there's something like also like really homey about all of his like his just performances. Like he comes in there, you know, I call him like proto Orange Cassidy because you know he came out in all the denim. Uh,
It was a very proto Orange Cassidy look. You're not wrong. There's a lot of denim in a t-shirt.
yeah, those white sneakers and yeah, there's I always like wondered like when you unearth that I was watching that right. I'm like, and then you unearth like at the end of it, right? You go through all this stuff like WWF contacted him about trying to work something out with him. I believe that was part of it. And then at the end, like you kind of show like the actual Ernest wrestling episode to tie it back into wrestling. And man, I did not know that existed.
That was from his Saturday morning show,
Yeah,
which is a ridiculously goofy show, but in a good way. It's pretty wholesome. It's a pretty wholesome show. It's easy to sit back and turn your brain off to, but it's basically a YouTube show. Like he's got puppets. It's him and his friends with cameras,
yeah,
but it's Ernest. That's kind of the thing with like old public access shows and stuff like that. Is it was old YouTube.
yeah. And like you know, like with pro wrestling, man, it going back and like thinking about all the times I watched Ernest Goes to Jail or Ernest Scared Stupid or the Ernest Christmas. Now I watch the Ernest Christmas movie every Christmas because like it's just something to put on. I'm a big Christmas guy, so I try
It's
to
a
watch.
Pete Christmas movie.
Oh yeah,
Have you ever seen the Miz and Paige's Christmas movie?
yeah, Santa's helper or something.
Somebody told me about that the other day, and I'm like, oh no,
Yeah, they're elves
oh
in
no, I
it.
didn't know about that.
They're elves
They're
in it.
elves.
Yeah, you know
I
I'm
haven't
a,
looked into it at all, but I was gonna ask if you had seen that since you're a
uh,
Christmas guy. I've
oh
had it pitched to me, and I'm
yeah.
like, oh my
The
goodness.
Miz also did another Christmas movie where he's like a cop. So yeah, I think The Miz could do like, the whole Hallmark movie, Lifetime movie kind of
That's
deal.
what they told me. They told me this was like a Hallmark kids movie,
Yeah.
and I'm like, a Hallmark kids movie with the Miz and Paige.
Hey,
All right then.
yeah. I'm a big fan of Paige's movies. Shout out to you, Soraya. You know, love your movies. Anyway,
Well, it, I didn't say it. All right. I'm
hey,
a good
I'm
Christian
just
boy
saying,
over
I
here.
like her movies. I'm not saying which movies. I'm just saying I like the movies. She's a good performer.
He said the thing. I didn't say anything.
Yeah,
I didn't
she
say
she
anything. I'm
always
over here.
goes to the finish. She always finishes the story. Um,
No.
yeah. Anyway, so like
How did you feel about the Cody Rhodes finished story thing?
I always make reference to it because it's funny to me. Because
No, that's fair.
it was like so like it was such a big part of like whatever that WrestleMania 23 2023 build, right? I forget what number it
Hmm.
is. 39, WrestleMania 39 build, right? I'm gonna finish the story. And then like he doesn't. So it's funny. And it's like as a phrase, I mean, I guess it's a it's a catchy little phrase, right? But like when he didn't win and then like everybody interviewed him afterwards and like he seemed like he cut like that little interview like, yeah, it's just something I said, but I regret saying it. Because like yeah, he lost, so the story wasn't finished, and then he wins it at WrestleMania 40, and then like they don't really do anything like special with his title reign, and then he loses it to John Cena, and like I'm just like, oh, that's funny. That's your
I was
story.
kind of unfamiliar with what happened afterward, but
Yeah.
I always thought the idea of finish the story. If the story is nothing but I have to win the title, then that means your story is the same as everybody else's story.
Yeah, just
I mean, I don't.
because.
I probably was missing something to it, but I know there
Yeah,
were a lot of really weird angles that I didn't get in the past few years in WWE that everybody else was going for. So if it works, I'm happy for it.
I think also like people kind of like cannoned it, which I think is a big problem with the wrestling fans. I hate you, wrestling fans. Is about like people put these stories in their own heads, right? So that it'll complete the story in their head, like to make up for like discrepancies in storytelling, right? Oh, it's finishing the story because his dad and his brother never won the belt, so he's gonna win the belt for his family. I'm like, but his dad was NWA champion when that was the world title and was an actual world title. And then he won the belt that his dad won. So, and then he won the ROH world title. So, like, he's already been world champion. Why are we acting like he hasn't? he wasn't one of the biggest draws in like the tens as far as like an ROH talent, and internationally he was drawing in places. But I guess like the story of like he went away to make himself whatever, that's boring to me. I don't care. Let's move on. But yeah, that's the whole point of that, I guess, was just to have a
That's the
catchy.
story.
Yeah, that's the story. You won the belt, and that's why after he won the belt, they didn't do anything with him because there's nothing to go on through from there. And then
I
losing the
think
belt,
that's kind of the big problem with a lot of the new angle. They don't go anywhere.
yeah, that's
Even if the follow up is poor, I think there needs to be that kind of exit plan and entry plan into something new.
yeah.
I don't know.
Um,
I
man,
don't think Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa at the top of a pay per view was gonna light the world on fire.
uh,
I'm pretty sure everybody knew that, but
I feel like if
it was
Solo
just something
won,
to do.
this is gonna make people hate me so much. I feel like Solo should have won the belt because it would have been funny, and it would have actually made the story more dynamic because now he won the belt and he lost it like right away. So now he has to, because
I'm not as familiar with the. I remember seeing some of the posters and knowing that the solo guy hadn't been around
oh,
very long.
he sucks, dude. He sucks. And like
Yeah, I don't think people are as into him as they are pretty much every other member.
even Tama, I like her Tama. Man, they, and like to bring it back to Ernest, what is your favorite Ernest character?
Oh, ooh, Bobby's pretty funny.
Yeah,
But I mean, do you mean Ernest character, like Ernest portraying somebody?
yeah, sure.
Okay. Bobby is like one of my favorite recurring characters in the Ernest thing. He's the silent guy who's got the big boisterous brother. Really like Bobby, but if not Bobby, then and just like an Ernest character, Auntie Nelda is a big winner. That character is hilarious.
Oh
I'm.
yes.
It's hard to think of anybody who he has who's funny, like the Nash character. Uh, but he's not really that funny. He's still one of my favorite characters that Ernest portrayed in his run, just because he was such a good bad guy.
Oh yeah. I like.
Uh, I don't know. Maybe it may not work on most people or whatever, but I think he portrayed a really good heel as
Oh,
the Nash character in Ernest Goes to Jail.
yeah, that was an example of a guy who could work both heel and face and like still draw in like whatever territory they go to, you know.
I think
I
Ernest would have been
person
an amazing like wrestling manager,
Oh yeah.
just cutting promos,
I
either heel or baby fit, however you want to do it. I think
I
Ernest would have
yeah.
been money.
I like whenever he portrayed the rich characters. That I
No,
love his
that was
rich
good.
moody voice. It's like one of my favorite things to just like reference and nobody gets. But
Like something Peabody, maybe. I can't
yeah,
remember the name of the rich guy now.
because he sometimes just did it as Ernest. Like when he was talking about, yeah, Mr. P. It was like, he would just like go into it like, hey, there's just something like a little just goofy and funny about it,
He
man.
had the laugh with the clenched teeth.
Oh yes, he wore the monocle. It's
Hmm.
oh man, you need a monocle when you're a rich guy, and like we.
Once you clear 1 million, I think they should give you a top hat and a monocle at the
Oh yeah,
bank.
that
I
would be
think it should
fun.
be distributed.
Yeah, if I ever uh, make if I ever get that much money, I'm definitely gonna invest in a monocle and most definitely a top hat. You need the
Okay,
top
will
hat.
your monocle be like a sunglasses tint?
Oh yeah, like I'm a bad guy in a Western movie. That'd be cool. Like the guy in
There you
Wild
go.
Wild West. I think he had a monocle, but
I don't know if he did, but
uh,
still, the idea of a Wild Wild West steampunk monocle could be something. That could be quite a visual.
oh man, like so I like that movie Wild Wild West, right?
Hmm?
It's pretty funny. They have Kevin Kline. He's good as like the hoity-toity. I don't know if he'd be a sidekick. They're more partner. He's more of a partner than a sidekick, and he was more like of the gadget guy than like somebody that like play second fiddle to Will Smith. But Will
Hmm.
Smith was a pretty good character in there, and you know,
Well,
uh,
at the time, that Klein guy, he was in a lot of stuff.
yeah, In
He
and
seems
Out.
like an odd pick now, but he was in. Yeah, In and Out was hilarious.
Like you
That
have
was
that
funny.
movie. So like he was like in the closet for well like they weren't even portraying like he was in the closet. He was just like just a guy, right? And like he never said he was gay. And, and then like you get hunky Tom Selleck in there. I love me Tom Selleck. Um, yeah, that movie is funny because like the actor guy accepts an award and thanks his gay a teacher for being gay to inspire him to play this gay character for winning an Oscar. And then not to spoil the movie for people, but then at the end
They've had 30 years.
yeah, and then at the end he comes out the closet because Tom Selleck kisses him and no, he's gay. He's gay. I guess that was the movie. He's actually gay at the end. So yeah, pretty good movie.
He's a runaway groom movie.
Yeah,
They
and
should have done that.
and I,
Spoilers intact.
now we're gonna go even back further. So we talk about pro wrestling in Japan, right? We talk about all
Mhm.
this stuff, and I'm gonna talk about Tom Selleck. Have you ever watched Mr. Baseball?
Mr. Baseball. I probably did 100 years ago.
All right. So Mr. Baseball, Tom Selleck. I'm doing a whole other podcast right now. So Tom Selleck goes. He's an he's an older baseball player. So like, of course, he's gonna get cut from a team, right? So
Hmm.
gets recruited. His agent gets him to go to Japan, fish out of water thing, and like, I think that movie set my love for Japan because like he goes out there, they show like the neon lights and stuff. They show him eating noodles. They show him going to like an American steakhouse in Japan. And let me tell you, those American steakhouses in Japan are A1, man, class. And yeah, something about the foreigner going to Japan, the older foreigner going to Japan to rejuvenate his career, and that makes me think of like guys like AJ Styles, having a run all in TNA, then going to Japan and rejuvenating himself.
I
So
think there was a time when going to Japan was the right move to do that.
yeah,
I don't know if that's the case now.
yeah. I mean, like when we think about the 2000s, right? Um,
Mhm.
so one of my favorite wrestlers of like the Attitude Era was Albert A Train, right? When he became A Train, had that cool match with Kane, did the derailer, that choke bomb. He was cool, right? And then
Oh, he became a beast in Japan.
yeah, so he first goes to Japan, to All Japan, as like they changed his name to Giant Bernard because he has a passing resemblance to a wrestler named, sorry, I think the Great Bernard or something. So he goes to All Japan, and like they have a WWE foreigner stable, right? And in it
Mhm.
is like, oh, it's either I think it's in the Voodoo Murders. So you got like Bull Buchanan, I think, or like I might be mixing up with RO&D, like because that also had like Umaga, D'Lo Brown, Bull
Well,
Buchanan.
the big thing that always gets me is him getting the tattoos to match Tomko.
Oh yeah, that's
That always
crazy.
got
That's crazy. Like he shaved his chest and his back, then that was his look, was the hairiness,
yeah.
and he completely said
It was not like a small tattoo to get. Like this was it's
he,
giant.
he just wanted to match this other guy. So like his whole chest, like, he gets a whole chest piece and back piece to match, and he gets sleeves up to match Tomko, and that's funny
And then
actually.
Tomko's gone within a few years.
And then he's teaming
He's
with
gone from Japan within 15 minutes.
yeah, and then he ends up teaming with Rick Fuller, who was like on WCW Saturday Night as a jobber, and they end up winning the IWGP tag titles. And that goes on to say this, like, because then you hear like, because then like he ends up in a tag team with Carl Anderson, right?
Hmm.
Um, this might actually be a deep cut kind of opinion, an actual one. I'm letting you guys know this, but ROND and Voodoo Murders were proto Bullet Club. And because like you had all these guys, all these foreigners come in and have become, they have a really cool shirt with a skull on it, specifically R&D, right? You've seen those shirts, sick shirt.
Mm.
And like the way they came in and just like ran roughshod over everybody, they cut promos and they were over, and they never get like they everybody calls Bullet Club so innovative and all this stuff, but like R&D existed like literally like 8 years earlier.
Way before.
And like I know I'm probably gonna get a little bit reamed for this, but I'm like, if you look at Evil in New Japan and you look at Taru for Verdun
Oh
Murders,
no.
it's the same kind of look, right? The
These are all the things that I get yelled at in comment sections for.
Hey, yo, I'm here to let you know, brother, you're not alone for feeling these intrusive feelings, because you're right. I'm telling you, you're right. Like that meme of like that GIF from Eric Andre's show. Why are you booing me? I'm right. People don't want to accept the reality like that. Not everything is original, and a lot of things can't be original. Like we were talking about earlier. Orange Cassidy is basically Ernest P Worrel. Uh, he would fit in the Ernest universe, honestly.
If Ernest was around now and they did some kind of thing where his kid just played video games and didn't interact all day and he opened the door and it was Orange Cassidy, I would not be shocked.
Hey, or I
That
feel
would be a
like
decent skit.
we need El Hijo del. They were trying to make a new Ernest. Like they're trying to find like, like how they found like a new Hayabusa,
Mm.
and like they've been trying to find a new Hayabusa for years.
Well,
Apparently,
there's been a bunch of Hayabusas over the
yeah,
years.
yeah. So they're actually trying to find a new guy to be Ernest. I think one of the guys in like Yesteryear or Defunct Line was talking about this on one of their videos about them trying to find a new Ernest, and that was like probably a video from 4 years ago. So I'm wondering like, is there a guy that could be El Hijo del Ernest?
Well, I mean, if they tried to break into the Spanish speaking market with a Mexican style Ernest, called him El Hijo del Ernest, that would be great.
you
I would
know,
I
like
would be all for this.
my the handyman that worked on my plumbing, he dressed pretty much just like Ernest.
Look,
So
they exist. The
yeah,
Ernest fellows are out there.
yeah,
It's a viable look. A khaki cap, denim vest and pants.
yeah.
It's a very
Work
working
boots.
outfit.
Yeah, it's just was Ernest always like a handyman kind of guy?
Janitor, handyman kind of thing. Yeah,
He
that tended to be the random job he was in.
he had like cause like
Custodian. There
yeah,
we go.
cause you like in Ernest Scared Straight, he had like that super truck, right? Am I thinking
I
right?
think so.
Yeah, and I'm like,
One of the
is
movies,
he a
yeah, he had a
garbage
big
man?
truck.
I was like, yeah. And then he had like that jalopy in Ernest's Christmas movie or whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah, man. Um,
I think he had something in the summer camp one too. He had like a
yeah,
big Jeep kind of thing.
yeah. Uh, man. Hold on.
Hmm?
There's there's something like there's something palpable about a character like that that appeals to the everyman. And like I think what's missing in wrestling right now is like somebody like that sort of just like represents the everyman, because they tried that with a couple guys and it just doesn't work. Because when I think about like a guy like Cody or a guy like Mox, I'm like, these guys are millionaires already. They have nothing in common with the common man.
I don't think there's an everyman anymore. People are way too different, so you can't resonate with the quote unquote everyman at this point.
Yeah,
Way too different strokes of people you'll come across. Um, th- this is I don't know. This is one of many problems that wrestling has to figure out an answer to.
yeah,
The The
Wrestling is
reshaping of who the good guys and bad guys are and what makes them good guys and bad guys,
yeah.
blah blah blah.
Because if I look at Cody, he just looks like a MAGA Republican, and I guess that's a good guy in this company. But like,
It
I
he looks like the character from that TV show somebody showed me. It's
the Homelander.
the
Yeah,
Homelander guy.
yeah, that guy's supposed to be like a
And
big racist.
well, isn't that guy also he's a bad guy, right?
He's a bad guy. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So it's interesting to have him as the good guy, but if they have him portrayed as a good guy and then he ends up doing something evil here down the line and I don't know, they can make it count in a way. I
maybe.
don't know. They haven't done very well with Cena. Apparently nobody likes the Cena heel turn that they all asked for 15 years.
Nobody likes it, but they like him. He's actually
I
cutting
guess.
like pretty fun promos. Ugh, man. But like,
Well, that's the thing is just everybody's complaining about it. It's very in vogue to not like anything.
like,
Nobody wants to watch anybody talk about liking anything.
yeah,
They want to see somebody talk crazy shit about something that just happened and bury somebody for something that just happened.
yeah, yeah, man.
I think there's a lot of dynamics at play with wrestling fans these days, and a lot of it has to do with coming off really intelligent. All right, you have to seem like you have seen everything, and you have to seem like you can rank wrestlers and you can put out the stars and you've got a perfect Mount Rushmore and all
Okay.
these weird things that don't mean anything.
Everybody wants to do a listicle, and I hate all these podcasts who try to be tastemakers when you're like, dude, everybody watches and enjoys wrestling in their own way. And hold on.
Hmm?
Yeah, man. So, to get back to what we're talking about, I do feel like nowadays when you're in the online space, it's kind of like everybody does just want to jump in and like maybe like dogpile on an opinion or like have their match rating out so that they could come off as like, not smart, but like clever. And it never really pans out like that. It's more like
In the
annoying.
know.
Yeah.
No, everybody's in the know. Everybody has a source. Every random Twitter user has a source. It's amazing.
It's like,
But it's a rush to a good take rather than trying to enjoy shows, trying to look at shows on their own merit. There's a lot more to do with trying to have the right opinion and give the right opinion to make sure that you get retweeted or everybody agrees with you so that you can get something out of it. It's very much tainted the idea of fandom.
yeah.
It's not even. I don't really even consider it a fandom anymore. It's a weird wrestling is social media industrial complex. I don't know, but there's an entire economy around all of this where it's meant to just get people pissed off about a show or whatever. And I'm sure there's something like this for other art forms, but the thing that gets me is seeing it in an art form like wrestling,
Yeah.
where you again nobody wants to look at it like an art form. They all want to look at it like boxing or UFC, and this shit is performative. So when I look at somebody who says I don't like that match, I see it no differently than "Oh, I don't like that song or I
Yeah.
don't like that movie. Like it doesn't bother me. I might like that movie or I might like that song or I might like that match, and you not liking it is perfectly okay, and
Yeah.
vice versa.
Yeah,
It's just a thing.
that's perfectly fine. But I do feel like when people talk about King of the Hill being a boring show, they have no idea what they're talking about. Cause boy howdy, that's one of my favorite shows right there.
King of the Hill is episodic.
Yeah.
Um, it is when you look at stuff like Family Guy and South Park, it's very you can step into it, get your laughs, and step out, and not really have anything to it. Yeah, King of the Hill has a lot of random background and lore. I mean, I think you can still probably enjoy a King of the Hill episode without any lore, but
Yeah.
it tends to be a kind of slow build around one story versus the way that the other ones do.
Yeah. Cause like The one that I introduced my wife to, right? Because she said she watched it when she's a kid and she was like she didn't get it. So the the one I introduced her to was Bobby's Nut Goes Nuts, right?
Hmm.
I don't know you, that's my purse. And
That's a winner.
it's
That's a
always
winner.
it's a hit all the time. So now she's constantly saying that around the house and like and like
That's
it's
my
become like
purse.
a
I don't
fun
know
inside
you.
joke. Yeah. I tell her like, hey, because I grab her purse, right? Right, all the time. I wear her
Hmm.
purse outside. I'm that husband who wears her purse. And like she'll like just pull me outside like, I don't know you. That's my purse. And like she threatens with a kick and I'm like, I flinch. I flinch all the
It's
time.
a great line.
It's a
It's
good
it's
line.
very hard to say that there are many better lines out there.
Yeah. Cause
If
like
coming, I don't know. Maybe there are better ones out of an animated adult series, but I think that might be the best line out of an animated adult series.
uh,
I'm sure
you
someone will dispute it, but
oh yeah. But like what you're saying, man. I feel like even in this online space, like when you go on YouTube, right? A lot of the things are like reviews or like explained. But so like people need to see a review to watch a movie, and people need to have that movie explained to them after watching the movie to get what's going on.
well, that's they wanted to explain to them without watching it.
Yeah, and it's
That's one of the bigger things about my FMW stuff. I try to leave enough out of it to where you don't get all of it.
yeah,
I want
um,
people to go and watch it
it'd be
because
annoying.
there's a lot of skip the line and just pretend you've seen it stuff
Yeah,
on YouTube.
I see what culture. I know what you do. Um,
Mm.
because like if I want something like a fully fleshed out thing, what you do is you give bits and pieces, but you also don't like really give like what's it called? You don't give
You
like
don't
your
have to go
perspective.
play by play in
Yeah,
order to tell people what happened. It
yeah,
doesn't have to be a play by play.
yeah. And I find that getting like a play by play of like every little bit, it's like it's annoying. Like the story kind of tells itself when you go from point A to point B to point C. It
It
happens
should.
naturally. It should, especially from you. Um, like I was talking about this with you, the art of narrating, right? Because
Mhm.
you sometimes do it. I know you have like some of your friends do it for you sometimes. Like what's her name
Mhm.
and the other guy. I don't know their names off the top of my head. You can
No,
name them if you want.
it's a lot. It's like Blossom, Quiggy, Mr. Hartgrave.
Yeah,
I've had a bunch of people come on
yeah,
and do narrations for it too.
yeah. They're all very talented people. I know like sometimes when people like hear a woman's voice narrating, they instantly turn it off, right? Because
Hmm.
people are male chauvinist assholes. Not me. I listen to women.
Well,
Uh,
for me, it's always a matter of what would sound best with what.
yeah, because you had her. I think it was one of
She
the
did Juana Barraza
yeah.
and Chase and the second Chase and Rinse video.
Oh yeah, the Juana Barraza murder. Oh man, that 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 is so good because I love true crime. I
Mhm.
love true crime, and I love pro wrestling. So like this fake. So do you mind telling the story? Because I can't. It's like this
Well,
lady.
yeah, you can tell the story as you've
All right,
always heard it interpreted to you.
all right. So based on that, because I heard this story is like long time ago, right? Because
No, for sure.
this lady is like a pretty. She had like a couple stuff on like ID. I love I love true crime stuff, so she pops up from time to time. So this lady, this Mexican lady, Juana, what's her name?
Juana Barraza.
Juana Braza. So
Hmm.
she loves pro wrestling, right? So she's a fan. Um, and it's to the point where like she's telling people stories that she was in the business, and but she was never in the business. She never did any training or anything like that. But what she did do is she did take pictures of her in wrestling gear, and she did have an article written about her in one of the boxing wrestling magazines over there,
It
right?
was Super Luchas.
Super Luchas, yeah. So she had an article in Super Luchas talking about her being in the old time thing, and nobody questioned it because it's Lucha, you
She
know.
was saying she had been to WWF,
Oh yeah,
and they even said that they changed it to WWC because they knew that people could tell that was nonsense.
yeah, and like it's so hilarious because I think about like that's so pro wrestling in like the thing of like somebody lying till they fake it till you make it, right? And that's the
Hmm.
thing. So she goes off like this is her thing, and then whatever passed on life, she actually commits murder. I think it was like they thought that she was like something or whatever, but
They were convinced that she was a man from everything that they had heard.
yeah, yeah. So and then she murdered these people. Why did she? Was it like a robbery kind of thing? Or I'm sorry, I'm
No,
not doing it justice.
no, it's okay. It was little old ladies. She
Yeah.
particularly would go after little old ladies.
Oh
The
God.
reason that it kept standing out to me was everyone always repeated it as she was a pro wrestler. Like
Yeah.
they went with the article.
Yeah.
They kept saying she was a pro wrestler. She was a pro wrestler, blah, blah, and that's just not a thing. Um,
It's a sexy headline.
yeah, it sounds much better than Weird Mark kills people, which is what the actual headline would be.
Yeah.
But everyone instead they go with pro wrestler becomes a serial killer, and like there's an insane amount of YouTube videos and stuff that just run with that marketing.
Yeah. And what I like about what you do is you go deep and you tell like the full story. Um, Another one of your what I love what you cover because you also go into like fight history, right? Um,
Yes, sir.
and you know like one of my favorite topics is bullshido, Bullshido, bullshido. And you covered I think you showed the clip from the Joe Rogan experience. Uh, One of the legendary stories was especially back then like on SureDog, and I'm not sure if you were on SureDog or on all those unbelievable. I like all these websites, right? There was this story of the guy
Middle
who,
Easy.
yeah,
Middle Easy still exists.
I don't know, man. Um,
That was an old one.
I miss SureDog. SureDog Radio Network. Uh,
Oh man,
oh
that's
man,
old.
yeah, the Jordan Breen
If you
show.
recognize that, you've got gray hair at this point, probably.
Oh yeah, like I have gray chest hair right now, and that's troubling to me. My wife hates it, so she pulls them all out all the time.
Oh
And she
my
pulls
god.
out whatever I have gray in my beard, she pulls those out because she's like, you can't be getting old, because that means I'm getting old. I'm like,
Oh man. Wait,
hun.
one day, return the favor. She lets one of them gray hairs sneak out. Be like, oi, oi.
Oh, she
Right.
wants me to pluck her white hairs out. She gets mad when I miss, but like, she doesn't understand that
Oh,
her hair
okay. She
is,
sees it as a free service. You
yeah,
see it as ouch.
yeah. She doesn't understand that her hair is so thick and lustrous, and I'm a bald. You see me right now on screen. I'm a bald. Her hair is so thick and lustrous, and she says you don't see it, but like it's like a million, like 20 hairs come out of like one pore, and I'm like, uh, your hair is so healthy and shiny, I can't tell which one is the white hair. Uh, but I digress. Yeah, so
Not gonna take the compliment. Just gonna be mad at you.
yeah, so when like what you do, right? You add up like the whole story, and in this one, I love the story because it's been told many times before, but this guy he makes up a fake MMA background, a fake martial arts background. Um, you might give me the name because I can't give it off the top of my head.
Rafael Torre
Rafael
was the
Torre,
name that he went with.
and I think that's a fake name because I don't think he's Brazilian.
That is the fake name, yes, sir.
Yeah,
Then he was. I always mess it up. It's either Bartel or Bartle.
Bartle. I feel like he's a Bartle.
Bartle is the name that feels like it would go with him, but I don't. I don't want to be shitty. If it's Bartel, like
Yeah, like the
Ralph
Rick the
the
model,
model Bartel, I'll
Ralph
take
the
it.
model
But
Bartel. Oh
I
shit.
doubt that's the case. But
Oh,
hey,
that's a good AKA. I I just like, dude. So the story about him that stuck with me is because I heard this all the time because I used to do taekwondo, right? And I used to train UFC, bro. I like I went I did training and I did MMA training and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and gi and no gi. I love that stuff. It's like I miss the mat so much. I miss submitting people. I miss taking people's breath and side control. I miss that. So the story is he makes up a whole complete fake thing. He goes into a kumite. Kumite, for those not in the know, is something in karate.
Well,
Usually the guy,
usually the kumite would be like, off in some foreign land or
yeah,
whatever. He got his friend to drop him off at the woods.
yeah, he got dropped off in the woods with a gym bag. All right,
He's some national state park or something.
yeah, and he walked into the woods, and then when his friend picked him back up, he had a giant trophy, a giant karate trophy, and he told his friend that he had won the kumite. Um,
Oddly, the same size as the bag he left with and
yeah,
happened to not have anymore.
and
Merely
that's
coincidence, I'm sure.
it's you gotta respect the work. Um, when I think kumite, I know like in karate, that's like when you fight like a bunch of guys in a row. And like in Shotokan, that's like one of like the last tests before you get a black belt, right?
Give me like practicing hands.
Yeah. And then because Shoto is with your hands, and then to to bring up Japanese words, and then also like when people think kumite, of course they're gonna go back to the classic movie Bloodsport. Uh, your friend dropped his bandana.
Okay, USA.
Okay, USA. Yeah, I love Bloodsport, man. We're gonna get into Bloodsport a little bit.
See
We'll talk
that
about Bloodsport after this. The real Bloodsport, not Josh Barnett's Bloodsport. But I love Josh. Really
I
good
don't.
guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't hate Josh Barnett's product either.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
really interesting thing. I'm glad
It's
it exists,
yeah,
especially with like the Butterbean Suzuki. I know a lot of people
I love that
talk shit
match.
about it or whatever, apparently, but yeah, I'm really glad it happened.
Yeah, I've
It's
loved.
a really nice moment.
Yeah, actually, it might be one. If you compare it to some of like Suzuki's Pancrase matches, there's like no real big difference. Have you ever watched the Suzuki Liger match
Oh,
where
for sure.
oh yeah, was it Suzuki? Does he who gets kicked in the balls? Someone gets kicked in the balls.
No.
No, no.
The beginning of the fight, Liger just rolls at him with a copo kick like
Oh
an
yeah, and then he
absolute
hits a.
muppet,
Oh
and
yeah,
then he immediately takes top position, and Liger just gets massacred.
oh yeah. There's that one. Oh man, I love that one. The balls one. I'm thinking about the luchadors doing the MMA fight. Have you ever seen that one?
Which ones?
Okay, like it
You talking about
ended.
like Alberto Del Rio and Mirko Krokop?
No, no, no. I know that one. Mirko like hits a head kick and then whatever. But
It's
like
pretty rough, yeah.
there was this other MMA fight with like luchadors, and then basically it ends with like one of the luchadors kicking the other guy in the balls and raising his arms up in the air like he won. Uh, it was on classic YouTube. It was on classic YouTube. I hope it's
I'd
still
have to
there.
I'd have to see it. I probably have seen it before, but I'd
Yeah,
have to see it again. I'd probably know it.
yeah. Because like I remember there was also something about there was like a magic match or something on DDT, but I'm gonna go back to that.
Oh, those are the best.
Yeah, but yeah, man. See, look, we can watch shoot fighting, we can watch work shoots, we can watch comedy matches, and we can enjoy this because it's all in the same. It's all in the same medium of pro wrestling, and the whole of the part of pro wrestling is just to be entertained. So to go back to this guy, Rafael Torre, God, he went on Rafael. Oh man, he probably
So
said,
you're giving him the accent treatment.
"Oh yeah, I'm gonna
Some guy,
talk,
he's some guy from the Midwest.
yeah, but I'm gonna talk like brother. He's he fight, he go fight. Um,
Do you have you ever met anybody who had like a good Anderson Silva impression?
oh no, I know not many people know how to talk like Anderson. It's like
The
really
big
hard.
sport. I used to know somebody who they would do that voice and it would just be like, "Oh, this is the big sport. I love it here. I'm so happy. I love a Dana. I love a UFC." I would cackle listening to this dude do Anderson and Silva impressions on it. It was hilarious.
Oh
He'd be
man.
playing like random video games. He'd be like, "Mario is the big sport.
Oh,
It
oh,
was it was so good.
back when Tekken 6 had their server still on, I actually played Anderson Silva. Or at least someone that had his screen name because he had his screen name on like when he on like water. They showed his screen name when he's playing Tekken. I think it's oh man.
There's you
There's
know,
something
oh,
about talking like Anderson Silva because his voice is so high, and that's probably why
what's
he.
so
It's probably that's why probably he did that Jackson entrance for Pride.
Do you know how like Mario will do like the stomps on the turtles and everything?
Yeah, bro.
Okay, so the guy when he was playing, he'd be like, Mario, we play at Pride rules. It's a big sport here. We play in the Pride rules. We
Oh,
do a head stomp. We do a soccer kick. He just
oh
go
my
into like the rule set of Mario. The guy was hilarious.
brother, I gotta tell you, you're going into Mel Blanc territory with that accent.
Oh dear, who's my blank?
Mel Blanc was the original voice actor
Bugs
of
Bunny.
Bugs Bunny and
Yeah.
also what's his name? Speedy Gonzales. You're
Mm.
going a little bit Speedy Gonzales, but
See, if I tried to do Speedy Gonzalez, I'd fall on my face. I
uh,
try to do somebody from across the planet, and I land on Speedy Gonzalez.
hey, you know, but Speedy Gonzales is a little bit easier to talk with. But it's I don't
You can
know.
go faster with
You gotta go
Anderson.
fast.
It's very slow, very
Yeah.
high pitched,
Oh, yeah. It's
and I
like,
love Anderson. He's so
uh,
funny.
he's a funny guy. He's a funny guy. The- I so like I love when when he choked out Kale and like he just does. I love whenever he choked people out because he could have always ended people when he wanted to. And like when he like chokes Kale out and he raises his arms and he does that dance that hip swivel, that always pops me when I rewatch his stuff. Um,
The first fight with Chael, I don't know if he could have got him at any point.
uh,
For that one night, Chael Sonnen was a pretty scary individual until the final 25 seconds, and
yeah,
then
you
all of
know,
a sudden he could be conquered.
yeah, and I don't believe
For
he
four
lost
minutes,
that fight. This is my child. Uh, it's
no,
hard.
you're good.
Yeah, it's you know Anderson provided a fight, but he he had to come up from the mud to show me what a fight is. Oh God. Oh, I'm about to go very bad with that Kale. Uh, I'm gonna stop myself before I get started because
You're allowed. You're allowed.
you start to talk like Kale Sonnen and he talks with a voice of authority, but also kind of like he's joking at everything.
He
And
would have been an amazing pro wrestler.
oh dude,
His promo
he
delivery
was
would
in
have
the
been peak.
fucking
He was in the
PowerPoint
power play. I
time.
know.
Him and Batista, same time.
Bob Sapp
Bob
too.
Sapp. That's
Batista.
crazy, man.
They had a lot of guys over there that ended up going the other way.
Yeah, yeah. Seattle is my hometown. That's always the best lyric for me,
Who was that one?
dude. That's Bob Sapp for
Oh,
Sapp.
okay. You're not wrong.
Mackinac, Mackinac. No, there's something about Bob Sapp's talking that
Bob Sapp was a fun guy.
yeah,
For the
Bob Sapp,
time period that he
please.
was in,
But
that was
to
a whole phenomenon.
oh yeah, Sap time. I actually watched that in real time, when he won the IWGP belt. Because we had Real Player back then. That was pretty cool. Uh,
Oh, the real player.
yeah, like real old heads watched.
It's hard to explain real player and that
Yeah,
kind of shit to people now, like what the purpose even was. But
yeah. There was two purposes. There was porn and there was live streaming. The live streaming aspect was pretty cool actually. Um, because that's how I watched Kensuke versus Kawada live. And then bringing it back to Rafael Torre. So he goes on. He has like a King of the Cage. Because I'm from SoCal, I know King of the Cage. You'd see Mask and all the tap out guys there all the time. Uh, you ever watch that reality show? You ever watch the tap out reality show?
I don't think I've ever seen the Tap Out reality show. No, sir.
It's pretty funny. You should. It was in the 2000s. Everybody got
I think I've
radio
seen like
shows.
Bully Beatdown.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
something like that.
yeah, yeah. I do like Bully Beatdown. They need to bring that back. I remember freaking Jake Shields did Bully Beatdown, and the Bully pretty much stuffed all his takedowns and and
I
marked
remember
them
a
up on the
bully
feet.
having to face Andre Arlovsky, and I was just like, "That's overkill.
Oh, dude,
There's no reason why Andre
that's
Arlovsky
crazy,
should
man.
be here."
Andre Arlovsky, it was the UFC heavyweight champion. Why the hell is he fighting just some like douchebag
He
from?
looked terrifying.
Yeah,
Like he was in full Leonidas mode with
oh
the
man,
Fang mouthpiece, just standing in front of this chubby guy,
oh
and I
man.
was like, "This guy's gonna get hurt. This is
He
great."
he was ex him and Junior Dos Santos were good in that one AEW match they had. They were like
I
Junior
think they
Dos
did really
Santos knew what
well.
he was doing in there. I don't know why they never
Yeah,
went
they did
after
not
him.
get well. They're pretty old to try to get any further than doing one or two matches, but
Hey,
they did do well in their roles that they took.
Junior Dos Santos is, I think he's my age. Oh man.
That's old in fight years.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
gotta
but
remember
that's
what all he's
rest.
put in the gym.
Yeah, yeah. I always go to the gym, and I always try my hardest, and I,
His that was the one upside I think Cain Velasquez had until everything went the way that it did with him was he
he,
kind of got out early in MMA
yeah.
and just stayed in really good shape. He had really good lucha stuff in AAA. He only had
Yeah.
like the one or two matches in WWE though.
Uh, you think wait, is he still under trial?
I think it's finally over. I'm not sure what the outcome was, but I know that he
Uh,
did get in trouble.
yeah, he should come back. Uh, he definitely be would be welcome back in WWE right
Oh,
now
there
with
are people who view him as a hero.
yeah, because what he shot at the guy who tried to molest
Well,
his
he got the wrong guy.
he got the wrong
That's
guy.
the only issue
He
is
thought
that
he was
he was
chasing
shooting
the
at the
guy who
wrong place.
molested his whatever, his
Right.
family member. So I'm just like, that's a good reason to go after somebody,
Right.
personally. But it just happened to be the wrong guy, the innocent guy, and that part sucks. And now I'll go back to Rafael Toy. So, he makes up this thing. He goes in King of the Cage, wins a fight like he's Takada versus Coleman. You know,
But the guy he went against, there's a really overweight guy, said it was his student. They had a beef or whatever. This was exceptionally fake,
oh yeah.
not even in an entertaining way.
So back in 2001, they did, and they gave him his Kumite record as part of his official record, and I think they also had it on Sherdog too. Back then,
That's amazing.
his worked record was actually taken as like, okay, we'll just do it because, Wild West stage, right? Whatever. So he goes at that, and then at the end of the story, he like, I guess people are saying him like he's doing like a fake submission artist, and when
No,
you
after
watch,
the King of the Cage fight, pretty
yeah,
much everybody had put it together.
yeah,
Like it,
that he was a
you could
liar.
look at the fight and tell things were not adding up correctly, and it didn't take long.
Yeah. It was like,
Relatively 4 or 5 months, and everybody was aware.
yeah. It was like when I was a kid and I used to put like my brother or my cousins on like sharpshooters or like Craig Pitbull Pittman's Code Red armbar. Like it was that loose. Like that put on proficiently unproficiently. Like it looks worse. It looked about like how how the Miz tries to work MMA sometimes, or like how Moxley works MMA sometimes.
I have
Every
not seen Miz do MMA. That sounds wild.
okay, when Miz tries to do like submission because he tried to do a thing where he copies Brian, and he's trying to do like all these like arm bar, a heel hook, Achilles hold on, nothing looks like right. I hate when wrestlers try to do submission holds and they don't look like what they should look like. I hate it. And I hate it that it's always like
It's not
a,
great.
a wrestler like Johnny Gargano trying to pretend like he can work hold for hold with Kushida, and I'm like, why? What is this? What's the point of this? You can't if you can't do it, don't do it. And but anyway, so I keep going off topic. But then like when
It's not.
yeah, so they find like Rafael Torre is a fraud, right? So he goes over to this one guy's house, and I like what your theory was. that he probably asked the guy. He told the guy, "Hey, I'm a fighter. I could show you a chokehold, right?" And I like the theory
Yes,
that he asked the guy if he could show him a hold. The old the old Stu Hart trick of hey, come over here, let me show you something
pretty much. Like it's just that people have a hard time believing that he ever could have done anything
on
to
his
a
own.
degree enough to kill somebody.
Yeah, so
People just have a hard time believing that with him.
yeah. So to go from like a fraud fighter to a real murderer is just such a crazy story that I love that you
And to
actually
commit the
cover.
murder with the thing that you allegedly had the black belt in.
Yeah.
That's that's something.
That's something. So he goes to jail and he's seen as the guy who chokes people out for murder, like the Trinity killer. John Lithgow had a really terrible rear naked choke on Dexter, like because when he chokes someone like in the bathtub, it's like so loose. Like he doesn't even do the Cobra bit, or he could have went Captain America just to make it like a really tight choke, but like Trinity Killer's rear naked choke, nothing. I know that's just an aside, but
Well, a legal aside.
yeah, just an aside. The Trinity Killer shitty rear naked choke. Um,
Rear naked chokes in cinema do need to be graded.
yeah, I do think the guy who actually played Dexter had a pretty good rear naked. Um, Carrie Ewell's sleeper on Andre the Giant is crazy to me because um, do you think he would ever really be able to like choke him out with that kind of like hold?
I mean, anybody can if you get the jump on somebody in the right way.
Yeah.
I mean,
His
anybody
sleeper
can really
was
hit
actually
somebody.
his sleeper was actually pretty all right on Andre because he did the full like hug choke. That's kind of like a newish technique now, but like
The
doing
hug choke.
a hug choke. So he was like literally hugging him on his throat until he passed out. Uh, yeah, man. But yeah, stories like this, stories like the murderers, stories like the real fights that happen, stories like covering like the history of FMW, Poison Sawada, Megumi Kudo, like all this stuff that you cover, man. It's so varied and it rules. I gotta tell you, man. Uh, because I've been watching your stuff for like a decade, and it's crazy to say like that your channel's been on for like a decade, man. You put
It's
out
been
all
on
this
forever
content.
now.
Yeah. So
It
what
feels like it's
keeps you
been
coming
on way
back?
too. I have no idea. It does not. I don't know. I guess like Wrestling Gets Real has a decent enough following that people keep watching it. So that's most of the videos that I make. I'm not making because I think they're going to be super big hits or anything like that. It's
Yeah.
just stuff that I'm interested in and stories that I want to get out there because we're approaching the time where a lot of the stories are about to get lost.
Yeah, man.
So,
A common through line on my show is oral history, right? And what you're doing is you're keeping an oral history of stuff that's going to be lost to time with visuals. And I feel personally like that having a video format is sometimes a lot better and helpful in telling a history than just like written text. Written text is great. It's great. I read it. I love. But if I'm like listening to like hardcore
it becomes
history,
more accessible.
yeah. If I'm listening to like a hardcore history podcast, or if I'm listening to like, or if I watch on YouTube Simple History with those like little doodle drawings, it keeps me like into it. And what you're doing, I feel like it's important for pro wrestling and combat sports histories because these stories do need to be told. These stories need to be remembered, and you're putting in the work for that. So I want to say thank you for that, man.
Oh, that's very cool of you. I appreciate it. I
Yeah.
don't. I like. I'd like to think that there are probably a lot more people telling different stories now than there were 10 years ago or whatever. But For a long time, the only thing that wrestling YouTube channels did was make a video about the screw job, make a video about the invasion, talk about heroes of wrestling. And there was a checklist. Like to be a YouTube channel, you had to cover a certain list.
Yeah.
I just stayed away from the list.
I
I,
mean,
I,
yeah.
I just made what I thought would be interesting and what I thought was going to end up being lost to time. So I went that route.
I'm gonna give you a suggestion, right? Because we were talking about, I think you were talking about Kurosawa and all that stuff. But like, so there's this story, right, about how there was this abuse in the New Japan dojo, and that's why,
You're talking about Kensuke Sasaki
yeah, Kensuke and
killing the
Hase,
guy.
yeah, I I have never like seen that covered in like any kind of detail. Um, these are just suggestions. I don't know if you have a Patreon
No,
about
you're
that.
okay. The hardest part about it is the limited media.
Yeah,
Um, Again, it was covered a lot,
yeah,
but the way that it was covered, it is very limited information.
yeah,
It definitely happened, but it'd be hard to get like an entire video worth of stuff out of it.
yeah,
At the same time, it's probably more than a short's worth of information. That's where I've noticed like any topic that's not quite long enough for a big video essay, but is also too long for a short tends to get left on the wayside for people.
yeah.
So I've been thinking of making a thing of dojo incidents because there are a lot of them.
Because yeah, there's
So
that. There's the Great Khali one.
the one with Masato Tanaka.
Masato
Uh,
Tanaka.
there's a
Yeah,
there's a lot of dojo incidents.
yeah.
So that
Like
may be a thing.
going. Yeah, you could. Maybe I'm. We're brainstorming here. I'm just making a suggestion because like there's something about like the dojo system that's romanticized a bit, but like the way that Jericho kind of tells it in his book, where it's like kind of laid bare, like it's fucked up. Because when I read Jericho's book, that's like the vibe
Yeah,
I
you
got
wouldn't even need
from.
Jericho's book. Just go watch Guy Girls, the
Oh
documentary,
yeah, watch Miyako Sanomura celebrated whatever abuse like a teenage girl and tell her she's worthless.
right?
Yeah,
Very normal.
so it's such normal, and like oh yeah, we celebrate her right now and tell her like oh she had such a great career and whatever, great trainer, and I'm like she is, but like if you watch that, I'm like maybe they went a little bit overboard for the cameras, but like to see someone mentally break like that and like uh it just be encouraged is like kind of like gives me the ick when it comes to pro wrestling stuff. Because like,
It's very culty. If pro wrestling were anything else, people would call it a cult.
uh, I mean,
That's a
there's
whole other thing.
there's still people afraid of Vince McMahon that they won't say anything bad about Vince McMahon. Uh,
Well,
y-
probably for good reason.
yeah, I mean, everybody wants a payday still, so
Well,
it's
they probably know. Eventually, that payday is going to be dependent on that guy.
yeah, and I just man, there's so many things rushing to my head, and like what you're saying about like doing what you like, right? Like,
Hmm.
uh, and this show is something that I like to do because I don't think there's like anybody else doing what I'm doing or trying to ask the questions or trying to have the kind of conversations that I'm having because everybody's like kind of stuck on their sort of like what you're saying, a checklist, right? What'd you do in wrestling? How'd you get into wrestling? How do you watch wrestling? What's
Bitch
what
about Tony
matches?
Khan.
Yeah, you talk about Tony Khan. Talk about oh WWE sucks. Talk about oh New Japan sucks. Talk about everything sucks. It stinks. And like everybody's fucking Jay Sherman nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And to the children in the audience, go ahead and look up
That's
the
quite a
Jay.
reference.
Yeah, watch
Is
Tony.
John Lovitz alive still?
Yes, and his
Okay.
wife is 30 years younger. I,
Okay. I
I
was
love.
wondering if he was still around.
Yeah, he's still around. I find him funny. His wife is hot. It's like ridiculous. But you know, he's a rich celebrity guy, so of course he'd have a hot wife. That's like more than a third age, less than a third his age. So anyway, yeah, man, you do. I like what you do, and I hope you keep doing it. And yeah, man, there's just so much history out there that you can cover, and there's so much more stuff coming out. Like, cause like your fight videos where wrestling gets real, like there's always fights happening, so you're never really gonna run out of.
Almost always, yeah.
Yeah.
You get at least 10 or 12 a year, I think, that end up hitting the mainstream to where people see it.
All right. And something coming out uh to tie up the MMA and wrestling thing is the Smashing Machine, uh the Mark Kerr documentary. It looks like it's a movie of the documentary because there's some like asides where like they do talking heads and like you watched the original movie, right?
Yeah, I've seen the old Smashing Machine. I've not seen like The Rock's rendition or any of that yet.
Oh yeah, it's oh they the trailer just came out, so The Rock has like these prosthetics that make him look like Mark Kerr, and they're
Hmm.
not that bad, honestly. But I do wonder, and Ryan Bader is playing Coleman.
That's interesting. That's an
That's
interesting pick for Coleman.
yeah, it's interesting because like Coleman is huge. I mean, Bader is huge. He fought at 205, but he's huge. Um, so I'm wondering if they're gonna put the part where, because you know what I love about that
Thing was,
docu.
Coleman and Kerr were very similar size. So are they going to
Yeah,
be trying to make it seem like Coleman and Kerr, one was smaller?
yeah, I think so because The Rock is
Oh,
like The
Lord.
Rock.
He's way bigger than
He's way
Vader.
bigger than Vader. So I'm hoping because you watched the documentary, right? So one of my favorite things is they just randomly follow Mark Coleman in his private life, right? And like, so he went to a club or he's like a bouncer at a bar, and he met his wife there, right? And she said she was older, and he said he was younger, and then they had babies. That part always just makes me laugh all the time. Like their whole relationship started on a lie.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people like that, especially back in the day. I mean, things just, life kind of flowed, you know?
yeah, yeah, man.
The, I don't know, we mentioned Tony Khan earlier.
Yeah.
Have, do you have, I don't know, do you have like a lot of people who freak out about Tony Khan or talk about Tony Khan a lot when they come through?
Okay, so I this is what I love to do, right? I tell a guy, yeah, well, you could talk all your shit you want on Tony Khan, right? So I have like the DM like Tony Khan doesn't know what he's doing. Tony Khan is just a mark. Tony Khan is blah blah blah. But then I like go like Tony Khan created a $2 billion evaluated company, and what can you say about that? Like, because the booking, whatever, I don't watch currently, but like as far as like making his company profitable, that dude did that. But what's
That's fair.
what's your Tony take?
I don't know if it doesn't match up very well with what most people probably think,
Uh,
but I feel like Tony Khan is, in a way, he is people's kind of, he he's the, in a way, a scapegoat
oh yeah,
for people to be able to. And again, I'm not saying his booking's great. I'm not even into all that. But when all this started in 2018, all anybody asked of Tony Khan was for an alternative.
yeah,
Right? They didn't care about anything else. All they wanted was, we want something that isn't Vince McMahon's pro wrestling.
yeah.
He gave that, and that was a win. Now the issue that he runs into is that during the pandemic, you have, what happens with Vince comes out, all this stuff just starts to play out and go the way it goes, and eventually, what began as a rebellion that AEW was capitalizing on, WWE was able to become its own rebelling force.
Hmm.
They were able to become both the heroes and the villains of the current story because people were like, oh, well, Triple H is going to take over from Vince. So we're pulling for Triple H at the same time as we don't like Vince. And it kind of left Tony out in the cold. Like, they're no longer the rebellion. The
Uh,
rebellion is inside of the thing. You have a rebelling force that is not. eh, They don't have the king they're rebelling against anymore. They don't exist. This was formed to do one thing, and at the time, it did everything it was saying it was going to do.
yeah,
But the issue became something wholly different, and it became something totally different. There's no more Vince McMahon wrestling.
that's crazy. That's crazy. And you know
So
what? Yeah, man. And people are really defensive about Triple H, to that point. Because now everything bad that happens, all the bad booking is not his fault. The blame for WrestleMania fell on The Rock when The Rock is not a booker, not anything. He's just a guest star. But apparently he ruined WrestleMania. Wow. Okay, that's pretty. I never thought of it like that. And uh,
Triple H is he is the leader of the rebellion now. Even though he's in the building,
even though he's a
the role that
McMahon.
Tony Khan was meant to fit, Triple H has it. Like he is the successor of Vince. He was able to dethrone Vince from within. Blah blah blah.
Wow. Wow, man, I never thought about it like that. Um,
I didn't think most people had, and again, it's not very profitable to think of it like that, because most people just want to shit on one person or the other. But I mean, if you look at it very, just try to just look at it for what it is, and it's super obvious. Like you had a little revolution going on of people who wanted something that wasn't Vince. And I mean, people just act like TNA doesn't exist. They've been doing that forever.
oh, and you know what,
But
man? Like that
oh,
was
go
the
ahead.
whole sentiment from NXT, and the name of NXTs were called takeovers. Oh shit, maybe it's all a psyop.
Playing the long game.
Yeah, man.
So for me, it was basically just again, I was never huge on AEW. I'm not huge on WWE. But I don't wish ill on either company.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's clear when you see like this company was positioned to be the rebels, and now they're not the rebels.
yeah,
Like the rebels are inside of the non-rebel company, going against the company from within. It's a very strange dynamic, but they Triple H pulled it off well.
yeah.
It completely disarmed Tony Khan in the eyes of, I guess, the wrestling audience. Well, that maybe some people had their opinions swayed by podcasts or whatever, but I think for the most part, it had to do with the rise of Triple H and the way that things kind of took place in the WWE independent of AEW.
Yeah, because I think a lot of the original fan base of AEW, right? A lot of them are lapsed WWE fans who just wanted WWE to be good again, my
Hmm.
opinion. And then
They wanted a different WWE.
yeah, and now they got it. And so you see, I always think like I don't think I know there's a crossover between those fans because whenever there was like a pay-per-view on a Saturday, Collision's audience is cut in half or even more. So that's
Hmm.
why now they're moving up to Thursday so they don't have that competition. So anyway, it
A little smart.
yeah, it's all smart. It's all smart work, you know. You don't want to step on it. You don't want to cannibalize yourself. And yeah, kudos to Triple H for playing the long game. And that's the only
No,
kudos I'll
it's
give him.
quite a long game too. Quite a long game indeed.
Yeah, man.
And with this Tony Khan thing, he couldn't have planned for it.
Hey,
Just circumstances turned him into the leader of a rebellion when people really wanted a rebellion. We're already following a rebellion.
hey, yeah.
Just imagine a general who has no army behind them now because they're all in another rebellion.
And you know what's funny too? Because Tony Khan is ending up hiring all the Vince guys, like Hurt Syndicate. Um, it's pretty funny, honestly. You see the differences and all that stuff, and people love taking sides. And the thing about me is, I hate pro wrestling tribalism. As far as like everything is stupid, man. Like one side has a billionaire, the other side has a billionaire. we're cheering on billionaires fighting billionaires, and you're saying
Pretty
that
much.
one side is like more more altruistic, more morally acceptable. But I'm like, it's all pro wrestling. They're all exploiting them. All the women are paraded around for their sex appeal. And like people try to deny that that's happening in AEW. And I'm like, really? Have you seen how they treat their women?
I'm pretty sure 99% of the girls in AEW's gear show their ass.
Yeah, there's so much butt cheeks. When my wife watched it, she's like, because we I watched Stardom too, right? Stardom and TJPW. So she's like, the Japanese girls all have these fun, sparkly, Technicolor outfits, and they look like fun, right? They're fun and like woo. But then when you watch American wrestling, everybody's trying to be sexy and everybody has butt cheeks out. And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, that's right, because this wrestling is geared for the male gaze. So
Well, American female wrestling is 99% butt cheeks at this point.
yeah, like
I don't know. Are there any popular girls who aren't in the butt cheek shorts?
well, I guess there's Naya in that full bodysuit, but
Okay. That's one.
I mean, that's one. I do like her big butt though. I know a lot of guys they tend to like, get stray away from the BBWs, but hey, I like a BBW sometime.
Well, if she.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, man.
I'm not riding him on. He doing his thing.
Yeah. Uh, when I think of like the most irritating thing about pro wrestling for me, besides pro wrestling, right, is like I'm gonna complain about the fans.
Go ahead.
I'm not sure, like, because we were talking about it earlier, right? Because everybody does want to come off as the smartest guy, and then I talk to people that like to say whenever somebody leaves AEW, right? Somebody said like when Miro and stuff left, well he was an asshole, he was a thing, they never did anything with them, whatever, right? And
Hmm.
I'm like, well, isn't it on the boss to convince these people to want to work? And then like, no, it's him, he's the asshole. Or like Soraya leaving, right? So Soraya leaves and like, well, she never added anything to the product. I'm like, all that Soraya did was put people over and lose and do all this stuff. So like, what are you complaining about? This is the same thing that those people that yell at WWE wrestlers for leaving WWE. You're doing the exact same thing, but
Hmm.
you're being so obtuse about it. Like, no, it's okay because AEW is different than WWE. They're not evil, but I'm like, okay, whatever. And like the irritating part is like people don't see that. And that's also the thing about tribalism. And it's just like it's so annoying. And like we even see it like on the smaller levels.
Well, it's pseudo intellectual, right? Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of these stances in wrestling that are so counter counter to what is real.
Yeah.
And all right, I'll give you one. Um, what is the stance you have on deathmatch wrestling?
I love it.
Be as honest as you want.
I love garbage wrestling. Because as we talked, right? We talked about FMW. I love barbed wire. I love it. But I love it to a point where there's like the two guys have to be good, actually good wrestlers to do it. Now, mind you, I do like seeing two fat guys carve each other up and mutilate each other because that's funny to me. So Matt Tremont versus Hoodfoot, that's funny to me. So seeing those two fat guys carve each other up and bleed, I'll laugh at that. But like when you look at like those old CZW shows where they'd have like just a really big fat guy come in from the backyard, wrestle a really skinny guy, and they don't look like they know what they're doing.
You're there for that too.
Yeah, I'm there for that in the terms of like I'm hoping something happens. Like, because like what and then like I watch Superhuman, but Superhuman, fuck
I've
this
heard of it.
shit, and then he dives on stuff. So like I watch all that sicko stuff. So I love garbage wrestling. How about you, man?
Okay. I I have an interesting or I like to think it's an interesting take. It's probably just a weird, yeah, fuck you take that most people would see it as. Um, when I think about stuff like, I don't know, what is the general public's take on deathmatch wrestling? Are you aware of that?
Stuntmen, they don't know what they're doing. All they want to do is like it's all just grotesque. There, there's like no skill to it. That's the general consensus from hoity-toity,
And,
falloity wrestling tastemakers. You know, the Dave
and
Meltzers of the world.
this is just people on Twitter just talking shit, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Comments, Twitter, whatever. Okay. Now their whole thing is, like mutilating their bodies and all that, right?
yeah. That shit is cool though.
I find this interesting. So, and again, it's maybe something that haven't thought about, or maybe it's something some people have. But when you think of people mutilating their bodies, who's doing more damage? The guy who's got a couple of tiny cuts from some barbed wire or some light tube, or the guy who just took 5 DDTs, probably has a concussion.
Yeah, 5 DDTs, 5 power slam, not power slam, scoop slams.
Right.
Cause like so you're a worker. You done so
Sure.
many bumps in training for no money. You paid to fall on your head to learn not to fall on your head so badly. But even when you fall down, your brain is shaking. So you take a
Mm-hmm.
perfect back bump, your head is shaking. So when people talk about safe style, right, at WWE, a lot of that is a guy bumps and feeds, bumps and feeds, bumps and feeds, but like bumping off like belly to belly suplexes like 4 or 5 times in a row in a Brock Lesnar match. That's going to add up. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
whereas like you watch something like Jun Kasai, right? He'll like
Mm-hmm.
he'll like hit a guy with a light tube. He'll take like he takes like 2, 3 scary bumps, right? The dive off the ladder onto, but that's like safe because he falls onto the guy in the middle of the ring, or like a bump on like those a controlled bump onto like a knife board or stuff. All of this is like it's built up and it's all controlled. So like he's working a safe style because he's 48 and he still moves like he did when he
Right.
actually moves better than he did when he was
Isn't
like
that
25.
interesting?
Yeah. And
He's
then you
almost 50 years old. He's still going. Now, there's a lot of guys who've been taking bumps and they can barely walk at 35.
yeah, yeah, you look at like you look at Matt Hardy, he can't move anything. And you look
Okay.
at and we
So there's your question. Who
yeah,
is mutilating their body?
yeah,
Is that really what's happening here? Who's mutilating their body?
yeah. That's crazy,
Think about
man.
it deeper, and it has a lot more to do with the audience and what the audience is okay with.
Yeah.
Again, this is more thought experiment because again, you see anybody listening, this guy said it was okay to get way too philosophical about wrestling beforehand. So I'm gonna
Hey,
do it.
hey, like you are opening my eyes to something because 10 years ago we put these expectations on Ibushi and Naito to be these great pro wrestlers, and they're taking these head bumps and doing these plunges to the outside and all this other stuff, and Naito keeps getting these eye surgeries to the point like now he's leaving New Japan and he's going to get stem cell surgery and he's gonna take a break for like I don't know, however, like a year or something because he got fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't need to. He could have worked a style where he just brawled, spat, done another thing, a walk and brawl, but he chose to like go hard all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw Ibushi like try to work on
They
two
went bad
broken.
shit.
Yeah,
They went crazy during that late New Japan period.
yeah. The guy who did the least amount of work and the least amount of bumps is the guy making the most money, and that's Okada.
So think of it this way. And again, there's a slightly grim, all right.
Yeah,
But when you see a guy like Masawa, who is taking bumps on his head constantly, who eventually does pass away in the ring
yeah.
due to the bumps he was taking and what he was doing, do people call that mutilating his body?
I mean, I do.
Some people might, and some people would put it into consideration. I think that, again, this has to do with the psychology of the people watching. They're uncomfortable with it.
Yeah,
There's something about the deathmatch audience where I'm able to respect it more because it is an honest fan. They look at what's happening, they acknowledge it, They acknowledge the toll it's taking, and they still cheer.
Yeah.
I think there's something to the wrestling fans now where they want to believe that wrestling is overly safe and everybody's okay when they do it and it's all fine.
Oh,
They
it's so
declare it
lame.
mutilating the body because it's visible. They can see it. They
Yeah.
can't see what happens after a DDT. You can't see what happens after a back suplex. So it's all
Fuck.
perfectly fine. Everybody was fine cheering Jeff Hardy all the way up all of those ladders. But the moment that they begin to realize, oh shit, his pelvis is destroyed, his backbone's messed up, he can barely walk, so he's on painkillers. Well, now we don't want to look at him anymore, so we're going to tell him he needs to retire because we're uncomfortable with it. We don't want to see it anymore. We don't want to see the consequence of anything that happens in the ring. We want to believe that
100%.
everybody's okay and safe by the end of it. That's why deathmatch flies in the face of it so much. Now, you see what happens right then when it happens. Versus in pro wrestling, you can stave off the expectation of what you've got in your head of what things are. You mean like everybody's safe, everybody's okay, and then it's like, well, that guy's got like brain damage now, and it's like, yeah, but that must have happened because he went too long or he went too late. It's like, no, it was probably while you were watching,
Yeah.
but
God.
people can be comfortable with it. They can play along with it. They can feel good about it. And they can shit on deathmatch fans and swear that they're the ones who are watching people mutilate their body, even though this is merely skin deep wounds. I mean, give me 100 skin deep cuts from a barbed wire match before you hit me with, CTE and, shattered spine, all kinds of these crazy things that guys will end up with. The
Spinal
crazy bad
stenosis.
knees. Yeah, bad knees, man, it messed up, man, all kinds of stuff trying to do these
The
crazy
shoulders.
moves.
Yeah, because you know what? I think about like John Kasai, right? And
Mhm.
like I think about like, has he ever really been out for like a period for getting injured? Or
Not a
besides,
super long time. One time he did take a few cuts that he probably shouldn't have taken.
and it took a while for him to get sewn
Yeah, a
back
bit
up.
deeper cuts than he meant to do, but that's about it.
Yeah, but like when I compare him and like Hanma got out of the deathmatch stuff, right? I went into the
Hmm.
hard New Japan G1 schedule for like 10 years, and look at him
Completely
now.
fucked his neck.
Yeah, and look at his voice. Man, there's a Hanma RFK impression that's right there, but that's gonna destroy my throat. But I'm gonna work on that.
He's a scary one.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. When you think about that, like Hanma did like ridiculous stuff, like diving off balconies, falling onto ladders, getting carved up, getting blown up, and like he has the scars all over his body. But what fucked him up was
Hmm.
a DDT from Okada, like the Randy Orton hanging DDT. That's what fucked him for life. Along with probably all the wear and tear from doing all those G1s and all those taking all those repeated bumps. Because also in the New Japan style, it's a bunch of like bump and feed, get up, take another neck drop, and yeah, you're right. It's like visually, if you look at Masawa, he just looked like um, just like an older guy.
Yeah,
We
you
didn't,
couldn't see all the damage that had been accumulated.
yeah, but like his neck was literally hanging on a thread, and was Saito when he hits him with the backdrop, and then that's it. That's
Hmm.
the end of your life. Flash, boom, done. It's like, yeah, all those years of falling on your neck, all those years, and like it just ends up like that. Or like T.J. Wilson getting that muscle buster from Samoa Joe, and if he didn't train his
Hmm.
neck, he would have been. He had one of those neck breaks where he shouldn't be walking, but he's walking because he trained his neck. And who knows, like that neck break probably happens because of all those times he takes bumps in WWE rings, 300 days a year, as they like to say all the time. And you're right, man. The safe style isn't really that safe. Um, yeah, dude. That, and you coming from a worker, honestly, that has more of a feel to it for me because I'm like, oh, that's
It's all a trick. A lot of workers want to put down death matches, and I'll tell you why. It is easier to a degree. If you can deal with the skin being, the flesh having its tears and all that, then it's not a hard thing to do. And
yeah.
that's why a lot of people look down on it
Like
because it is easier if you can deal with the nicks and cuts and all that. But
people want to talk down the style, but I got a name for you, man.
hmm,
I go ahead and I want to go ahead and say Cactus Jack is a piece of shit. Terry Funk. Terry Funk. Hardcore
Terry Funk
wrestler.
kind of he made it pretty mainstream.
Yeah.
He was the one who did the match with Onita that kind of changed everything.
So like, how long did he do the hardcore style? Like, we go back to even like,
He came in the early '90s with it.
yeah,
Are you familiar with the Funk Masters of Wrestling?
yes.
Okay, pretty much from that point forward in FMW, he was a hardcore guy. He had done some stuff in like IWA or whatever, but
Yeah. Oh, dude, we could talk about Puerto Rico all day, man. I've been talking Puerto
well,
Rico
I
for the
meant
last.
IWA Japan. I think he probably did some stuff with IWA Puerto Rico too. I'd have to
Cause,
go look. Yeah, Funk was everywhere. He was Terry Funk.
yeah, yeah, because like, man, there's something about that style. I don't know if you ever gone back to watch like Carlos Colon and Invader and all those
I
guys,
have.
but like, yeah, there's something about like all they do is walk and
Do you
talk.
know Mr. Mac?
Yeah,
Okay, I'm friends with
tell the
Mr. Mac.
people, tell the people, man.
Oh, about Mr. Mac?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Mac is a guy from he would be in the Puerto Rico scene as well as Japan in Zero One. Did some stuff with like Prince Nana, Steve Carino, and everybody. In the States, he was known as Chuck LeGrand, and he is the originator of the gimmick that most people know now as the list. He was the one who came up with it.
Mm.
I made a whole ass video about it. It ended in Steve Carino's kitchen cooking shrimp fried rice.
That's cool, man. Um,
So, yeah, Mr. Mac, he's been a fountain of information for Puerto Rico for me because, like, I've seen some Puerto Rico, but I was not nearly as learned as I could be on Puerto Rico compared to other places.
yeah, because we talk about blood, we talk about gruesome. From Puerto Rico comes the Japan gets that style from Puerto Rico, but also Memphis comes from Puerto Rico,
Yeah,
and then ECW was born from FMW and Puerto Rico because Eddie Gilbert also worked Puerto Rico. So everything is like born from that style, and we still see like old guys work. We're still seeing like Abby work like up until the 2010s, man. So like, tell me who's working harder? Because like
that's
Abby
the
is
thing.
there
Like, Terry
throwing,
Funk adopted the style as he
yeah,
was winding down in his career. That should kind of tell people which style do you think's harder? If Funk starts doing this one when he can, barely move anymore.
yeah, and like look at Hulk Hogan. Him and Ric Flair had that last match in TNA, and like, were they really seen as like the dangerous
Well, yeah,
stuntmen?
Hulk Hogan definitely. He's one that as soon as he realized you could make your matches more exciting with tables
Yeah,
and chairs, yeah, go look at late WCW Hulk Hogan.
yeah,
That's
power bombs through
immediately
the
what he did.
table. Oh man,
Right,
I
he was
love,
all about that shit.
man. I was about to say I love that Hulk Hogan. It's so weird to say that I can't, but like, there's something about that whole Fubar Hulk Terry Bollea that when he powerbombed him in through the table and starts doing these garbage matches and like it was funny. Like in the late stage 2000s WCW, they just said, "Oh, there's no more rules. Just you can do everything you want to do." And I don't know why everybody skips that part because that's always funny to me. They just stopped having rules, and it's funny because they're trying to sell that game Backstage Assault. Um, but yeah, man,
It's quite a
that's
game.
quite a shitty game. Um,
Quite a game they had on that one.
I'm sure if Hulk Hogan decided to do the Axe Bomber as his finish instead of the leg drop, he probably wouldn't be as big of a crazy guy as he is now. He's,
The X Bomber was basically like Luger's flying forearm.
yeah.
He would just run and hit you with the forearm or whatever. But I don't know. I didn't hate it. I think Hulk did it pretty well when he would do
Yeah,
it.
because he still did it in like the U.S., right? And like I just recently
Yeah,
watched again.
Hogan would hit the clothesline in the U.S. all the time. I'm pretty sure he hit one before he hit a leg drop and won the belt one time.
Yeah, yeah. I think
Like
that's how he
instead of the
beat.
big boot, he hit
I
a
think that,
clothesline for it.
yeah, that's how. Oh, he actually beat Terry Funk in that match with the X Bomber. Because I think because like if you watch their match, there's actually a bunch of Japanese photographers there because of course it's Hogan
Hmm.
versus Funk. When are you gonna get that? The New Japan guy versus the All Japan guy, you know?
Hmm.
But yeah, man. Man, it's sick talking to you, bro. Um, it's like it's been a pleasure, man. And I people don't know like I've been bugging this guy for a while just to like give me a, like a nibble. And this guy is so gracious that he said sure. And
He's not that bad. He didn't bother me that much. I ended up I did not get back to him for 2 days. I felt bad about that. I thought I had replied to him. I did not reply to him, and it sat there for 2 days. And then he politely messaged me again. I'm like, oh hell, I did not mean to do that.
hey,
But he's a very nice fellow.
I try. I like. I don't. I'm not trying to be nice. Like, that's how I was raised. Um, and like people often have this misconception about us as wrestling fans that we're. I mean, it's not a misconception. There's a bunch of stupid people out there. There's a bunch of annoying people. We we've talked about them. We've buried them here right now. But it's like, you know, for the most part in my experiences with this is everybody has their own kind of like story and how they their own experience with pro wrestling and like to hear it come from you, man. You were in the business before that, you were a big fan, and now you have this YouTube, and all of it is just coming together. Like, yeah, man. It always like informs you like I love this stuff. There's something about pro wrestling where I can't really give it up. Even if I give up what's on TV, like I can go ahead and go on YouTube. I can go ahead and go on YouTube and pull up a match and enjoy that match. Cause that's what I do. Uh,
Wrestling has the ability to tell stories that other mediums can't touch.
yeah,
Um, I mean, all right. There's of course the element of because of how wrestling is, everybody treats it with a very strange thing. Like pro wrestling can't have somebody pull out a gun and shoot somebody. Now we're not treated like a legitimate sport, but we
yeah,
also can't be treated like any other fiction. It is the only sport in the world treated this way. But at the same time, even within the constraints, pro wrestling can still tell stories that can't be told in any other way.
yeah,
uh, the framework of people trying to achieve, getting to the top of their industry, having to literally fight and scrape to get there. I understand the fights are predetermined, blah, blah, blah. But again, you don't necessarily, I don't know, like I've heard like anime fans really like the animes where there's a lot of fighting and, big tournaments and shit like that. This is very much like that. It's a matter of there's a perpetual tournament going on and people constantly trying to climb to get to the very top of this leaderboard.
yeah.
And you can tell so many stories within that mechanism
Hey,
that you
man.
can't tell in a movie or a cartoon. You can't
Yeah,
do it. So it's special. It has that going for it. It's not, I don't know. It's not it's not Shakespeare. It's not, something like that. It's not, going to be like a movie exactly or whatever, but it's its own framework, its own form of theater. And it's, again, even if you don't like a certain company, even if you don't like a certain kind of wrestling, it's easy to enjoy the theater of wrestling if you find a match that you're able to like. Just like if you find a song that you're able to like, even if you're not a fan of rap, you might find a rap song you like. Even if you're not a fan of country, you may find a country song you like. Even if you're not a fan of heavy metal, there may be that one heavy metal song that you kind of like that one.
yeah,
It's the same way with wrestling.
yeah. That's true, man. That's so freaking true. And what you brought up anime tournament art. You're a dark tournament guy?
I am not very familiar with animes at all. I have to
Uh,
get told about them by family members. I have to get told about them by other people and
uh,
everything. I am very old.
I, I'm just
I'm
I'm just
old in
gonna
spirit.
Yeah, so my reference right there was for like an old man anime, Yu Yu Hakusho.
Mm.
So like you
Oh,
could,
I do know what that is. I had a friend when I was younger who was into the Yu Yu Hakusho.
yeah, they're pretty much they created like I mean they didn't create it, another tournament. Actually, the one that created the tournament arc was Kinnikuman, which in itself was a pro wrestling anime.
Now that all right, that I have watched.
So you watched Ultimate
I
Muscle.
did watch that. I watched the Tiger Mask series.
Oh yeah,
I did that because I meant to make videos. It didn't happen.
you know, because what actually we see in I'm about to go on like an anime nerd thing. So what we see like in anime where like the guy tries to power up and like tries to come off and win the tournament or whatever stuff, and like the main character has to overcome all these obstacles. That comes from Kinnikuman,
Hmm.
and yeah, man, it's just cool to tie everything back to pro wrestling. Um,
Have you ever seen Kaneko Mania?
the MMA fight.
No.
What's Kinnikuman
Like
Mania?
Kaneko Mania, the pro wrestling event built around Kaneko Man. The
Uh,
main event, I think it was Kaneko Man versus Manawa Man. But they
oh
had like
yeah,
IWGP champion Minobu Nakanishi and Yuji Nagata in a
yeah,
tag team
yeah,
match against like actual characters from the show.
yeah, and then like one guy kept that same Kevin Mask character from the
Uh huh.
anime as like
He
that
went and
became
did
their
one as
like
Noah. It looked awesome.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, I
Did you know
watched that.
Jun Kasai was Brocken Jr., the Nazi?
Oh no, but now I
I
know.
found I
That's
found that
great.
out.
Oh man.
Somebody has to be Brocken Jr. and Kaneko Man. Brocken Jr. is the good Nazi. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah,
That's
he's
the
the good
character,
Nazi.
guys.
He's not the only
Don't
good
shoot the
Nazi.
messenger. Yeah,
He's
there's
not.
one more. Who is the other one?
I mean, okay, so there's actually
It was
Brocken
the Red
Senior.
Rain of Pain was the
Yeah,
finish or whatever,
Jaeger,
right?
Jaeger.
Jaeger. There you go.
Yeah, that's like El Hijo de Brocken Jr.
El Hijo de Brocken. I love it. Yeah,
Uh,
that's accurate though.
yeah, so yeah, man, I love Kiniko, man. That's like one of my favorite animes, cartoons in general, like the whole lore about it. The video games are fun because they're like on the Aki system.
Well, that's a good thing. If I ever get around to making the Kaneko Mania video, I'll try to bother you and see if you want to do a part in it.
Oh, bro, I'm
Since you actually know what it is. Nobody else really knows what I'm talking about when I mention it, so
yeah,
this is
dude,
fair.
I'm down. Like let's collaborate. Like I told my other friend Scott from Retrospective, I have plans for you, my boy. Uh, yeah, man, I'm down. Like an anime and pro wrestling thing, or like fighting games and pro wrestling. I That's kind of what I kind of dedicated myself to when I was like when I first got the internet is like trying to find the links between all these people and all these characters. Like, because when I was growing up, my favorite game besides Street Fighter 2 was Saturday Night Slam Masters.
I was obsessed with Saturday Night Slam Masters.
Uh,
All right, there was a rotation. Me and my grandfather played Royal Rumble on Super Nintendo and Saturday Night Slam Masters. Those were the two games. He preferred Royal Rumble, but he
uh,
would play Slam Masters with me. We would go for the tag belts in both of these games. Gunlock and Biff would be our tag team most of the time, but I couldn't not pick Scorp
uh,
and get him to pick Stingray.
the
He
Mask
really
Guys
liked Rey
tag team.
Mysterio,
Yeah,
so
dude. Uh,
he'd get
it,
that one. I was obsessed with some Slam Masters. I
yeah.
enjoyed that game way too much.
Me and my brother. Oh, sorry. Me and my sister now. Love you, Miles. She would pick Jumbo, and I would pick Grader.
Jumbo Flapjack.
Jumbo
Who,
Flapjack,
Raiden?
and I'd be Grader. So
Greater.
yeah,
Okay.
we'd be the two fat guys in him because we were two fat boys growing up. And like, like there's
Greater
so
was Vader with leaves, right?
yeah, Vader with feathers. And then
Was it feathers or leaves? I thought that was leaves.
I have no idea, man. And then like in the Fatal
It makes
Fury,
more sense for it to be Why the fuck would it be leaves?
I
That's
don't
nonsense. I don't know why I thought it was leaves all these years, but that makes way more sense that it's feathers. I'm an
yeah,
idiot.
because he like
He's a big fan of the fall season, I guess.
I guess because they were like orange leaves if you want to see it as leaves.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. What you're
Oh
saying
man.
makes more sense.
See, now
For 30 years, I thought it was leaves.
we've broken down the greater leaves versus feathers, and why was Prince Ayakea named the artist formerly known as Prince Ikea. We
Mysteries
solved
being
those.
solved.
We solved those. We're good. Oh shit.
I kind of want to bother the guy who made the game now and do one of those things. Be like, hey, bud, what was it, feathers or leaves? I need a definitive answer for my very nerdy YouTube video I might make.
Yeah, brother. And then Fatal Fury 2 had Big Bear, who was Raiden, who was basically Big Van Vader.
Hmm.
Cause oh man, yeah, Capcom needs to release a Saturday Night Slam Masters. It doesn't have to be a HD remix. Could just be a put on one of those anniversary collections that they got because they have so many of them now. And like they'd create the most popular wrestling game ever because people who didn't play wrestling games would play them.
Saturday Night Slam Masters on the engine of WWE All Stars. Would you play it?
Yeah, I love WWE All Stars, dude. That was like
Doesn't
we'd
that sound like a good time?
yeah, because like you so like if you played Tekken before, right?
Yeah,
So
long ago, and arcades many moons away.
so like in like Tekken or like Virtua Fighter or like Soul Calibur, I'm a fighting game fanatic. There'd be these things called juggles because like you pop a guy up in there and then like you just do an air combo, and that was the whole meta of WWE All Stars was like you pop a guy up in there like with a Hulk Hogan and then like you do like a 10 hit combo, end it with like an Axe Bomber and then finish it with a leg drop. My main was Hulk Hogan. I know way too much, dude.
Well, look, juggles is it's a very an integral thing to the fighting game thing. I've talked to some fighting game people, and they're very serious about their juggles. So if they have a wrestling game that would incorporate juggles and have characters from the fighting game, like isn't Hager? He's in
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Hager is in
Uh,
the Slime Masters, and then he's also like in Marvel versus Capcom games. And
see,
he, and like I like this feeling like because you know like they made like Street Fighter 4, 5, and 6, but they never made like Slam Masters 3. Slam Masters 2 became more like a Street Fighter
it was
game.
just an arcade game, wasn't it?
Yeah, but if they went back to like the style of like you have the life bars and then you had the pinning and you had the submissions, and then like you get style points for doing a submission or a pinning finish, which I thought was cool. So like Hager would have the pinning power bomb, like the Kawada folding bomb, and
It
like
was the Fisherman Suplex and
yeah,
Gunlock, Northern Light Suplex from Biff.
yeah, I
This
like
is annoying how much I know about this
yeah.
nonsense.
Oni had the dragon suplex.
Oni did have Dragon or German, I couldn't tell which, but it was
Uh,
a bridging suplex from behind.
yeah,
I could tell that.
yeah, and like what was it? Scorp had the German
Scorp had the
suplex.
tiger. He had the
Scorp, he had a
tiger
tiger.
suplex. Yeah.
Someone had well, someone had a really cool German in there. It must have been
Like Scorp would grab you for a German, fly into the air, spinning, and fly back down on
yeah.
your head.
And then
I don't.
Rasta had like a really cool
Rastaman
set.
looked
Oh
like
man,
Blanca,
yeah, kind of
but
like Blanc.
not changed yet.
Yeah,
Had the
just
same chest hair pattern and everything, right?
yeah. He came out with a monkey. That
Mm-hmm.
that was somebody in wrestling needs to come out with a monkey. We had.
I think that's happened before. I'm not sure who though.
Hey man,
I'd have to check, but I'm pretty sure a monkey has made his way to the ring. We've had tigers, for
hey man,
Christ's
I'm gonna
sake.
put you on hold real quick.
Back again. So my question for you, just to take us out of here, because I love dessert. What's your favorite
Hmm?
dessert, man? What's your favorite dessert?
It's like Rice Krispie treats. They're pretty good.
Hell yeah.
I'm not huge on sweets, but like Rice Krispie treats are pretty okay. I like
Uh,
them.
all right then. That's a good one, man. I like Rice Krispies. They have these Rice Krispie treats ice cream sandwiches right now. They're pretty fire.
That sounds
Um,
pretty great.
yeah, it's available at our Food for Less. I don't know if that's a Kroger's where you are, but it's amazing. And I usually ask this also.
Hmm?
Um, so what do you want your rainbow to say?
What do I want my what to say?
Your rainbow. That's like the message you want to send out to the world.
Oh God. Oh, That's see, that's way harder than I thought it would be. I don't know, probably something to do with being much more conscious of how many days you waste away. Just be really conscious of how fleeting life can be, and you don't know you're getting it tomorrow, that kind of stuff.
All
Just
right.
because is a lot of people I think a lot of people spend a lot of time just sitting on the internet, and they forget that there's a whole world out there. Like you could look at it, or you could talk about wrestling and all this stuff, or you could go to the wrestling shows. And I know that all these people aren't going to their local independent wrestling shows because I've seen local independent wrestling shows. And if all the people who were talking about local independent wrestling shows were actually showing up, it would be booming.
Yeah, man.
So, just get out there, do more life, enjoy some life.
All right.
That would be the main thing. Just make sure the days that you're doing are worth something to you.
That's
Don't go to
all.
bed, hoping that you had done something more with the day. Try to get all that you can in there. It's like every day should be treated like a trip to the theme park where you're trying to squeeze in as many rides as you can, even if you have to stand in a big long line.
That's a good one, man. Do you want to plug your stuff?
Yeah, sure is. It's the Grapplevision channel, and we have like a Discord. I mean, sometimes we'll jump in like general chat and everybody will talk for a while, stuff like that. But for the most part, I just make the videos on the channel with the help from some buddies.
Yeah, man. Thank you for coming on, bro.
No, it's a good time, easy talk, fun
Yeah.
time.
Yep. Thanks, man.